And what's the motherfucking deal, everybody? This your boy, Coach Dante in the building, man. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Welcome to the live, everybody. This is a free agency recap, day one, right here, man. Got a show spotlight on the Darren Hopkins show later today, but we're gonna go some day one free agency recap news and pretty much more that we can really get into later. Man, shout out to Key, my boy Auntie Six. Shout out to you, man. There's been some crazy moves going on last night. You know, if y'all hear anything in the background, it is a thunderstorm over here. So bear with me. I don't know if my if it's gonna get so hard where everything cuts off, but you know, kind of bear with me a little bit. It's a thunderstorm. If y'all hear any rumbling in the background, that's the outside. So we're gonna get into some of these deals, man. If y'all got any questions, man, you definitely can ask them right here. So we're gonna get ready. We're gonna start with we're gonna start from all the way down from the bottom up, and then we're gonna work our way to the bottom. We got Brooke Lopez, Robin Lopez, signing a 1-year deal with the Cleveland Cavaliers. That is the news right now. I just made a video up on it. Cool. Yes, sir. I know we did get Jay Sean Tate. Just made a video up on it. What's good? What's good, Troy? What's good? Just made a video up on it. Cool. Just you already been beat, cool. Just remember that. You already been beat. You already beat. The Suns, a trade for Kevin Durant would very likely center around maximum of 4 first-round picks and the swap and the Nets' ability to swap pick with the Suns. Oh, they want 4 first-round picks right there. I'm gonna get to that, Auntie Six. I got you. I've been great, Troy. I've been great, man. I've been great. John Wall signs a 2-year deal with the Los Angeles Clippers. Everybody expected that to happen after he got bought out by the Rockets. It was told that he was going to sign with the Clippers, so he did sign a 2-year deal with the Los Angeles Clippers right there. Who's going to start him or Reggie Jackson? We don't know that. We don't know that question. We don't know that question yet. But where John Wall still can play, he averaged 20 points with the Houston Rockets. He averaged 20 points with the Houston Rockets. So that shows you signs he still can play. He did have a little bit bad efficiency with the Rockets, but he also shot his best 3-point percentage with the Rockets as well. So John Wall signing a 2-year deal with the Clippers right there. If you guys don't know that. What's good, my boy Max? Boy, it feels good to own the Brooklyn Nets future, don't it, Max? Shout out to my boy Max, my Rocket guy, man. It does show. Feels good to own the Brooklyn Nets future again. It does. Yusuf Nurkic signs a 4-year deal worth $70 million with the Portland Trailblazers. Yusuf Nurkic, a pretty solid center, but he can't stay on the floor. Let's hope he can stay on the floor this year for the Portland Trailblazers this year, but he can never stay on the floor. It's a risky move, but he got his money. Zach LaVine, 5 years, $215 million. Shout out to my boy Miles Gooley. He got a good center, great center last night, and Andre Drummond, who can crash the boards, who can get the 50-50 balls, who can get rebounds. And you got your guy, Zach LaVine, locked up. We know 2 days ago he was going back to the Chicago Bulls right there. Let's go down. Danilo Gallinari to join Boston after expecting his release from San Antonio. So basically, Danilo Gallinari will be a Boston Celtics, after he was released. After he's released, he will be a Boston Celtic. Otto Porter Jr. Won him a championship. Now he goes to Toronto Raptors on a 2-year deal. Won him a championship. Now he's going to Toronto on a 2-year deal. Bo, 2-year deal with the Orlando Magic. 2-year deal with the Orlando Magic for Bo right there. Played in Denver. Aaron Holiday, 1-year deal with the Atlanta Hawks. 1-year deal with the Atlanta Hawks right there for Aaron Holiday. I think that was the Holiday that was in Phoenix, right? Believe so. Bruce Brown. I like this move by Denver. Bruce Brown signs a 2-year deal, $13 million to go to the Denver Nuggets. That's a solid deal. Get a good defender, someone that can shoot corner threes pretty much. Cut to the basket. Got a nice little floater game. That's a good move by the Denver Nuggets. Bruce Brown, pretty solid, pretty energized player. Still young. New York Knicks got Mitchell Robinson right back. Got Mitchell Robinson right back on a 4-year deal, $60 million. The New York Knicks is solid. It's gonna look like they're gonna be pretty solid, but we're gonna find out if they're gonna really be pretty solid. They did get Jalen Brunson in the deal. That was their big target right down through the whole free agency. Of course, Rick Brunson, his dad, is a part of the coaching staff in New York, so that influenced him a little bit. To go over to the New York Knicks a little bit. And what's so strange, he didn't even get Dallas a meeting. He immediately told Dallas, "Hey, I'm going to New York." So I guess Dallas didn't even have a chance to offer him anything. I guess Dallas didn't even, pretty much offer him nothing. But I think, like I say, I don't know if it was more Jalen Brunson just, leaving the team more than listening to the offer. But hey, he already made that decision up. Probably during the draft. He already made that he made that decision early. He made that decision really, really early that he wasn't going to return back to Dallas, and he notified them. He notified them too that he was moving on to New York. So again, that kind of shocked Dallas. But we'll see what the move from Dallas is going to be next. We're going to see what their move going to be next. The loss of Jalen Brunson, but I still think Dallas is going to be a fine team. But Jalen Brunson is a big loss, but depends on what other person they go after. Will they go after Colin Sexton? Yesterday, heard they was in the Colin Sexton sweepstakes and the Kyrie Irving sweepstakes. I heard they were in that as well, but we're going to find out over that. What up, Slay? What up, Chad? You said Bulls made some good moves so far. Bull, I like the move Andre Drummond. I definitely got something I needed. What up, my boy Burn, my guy? What's up, man? How you doing? That's my guy. Gary Payton Jr. 3-year deal, $28 million, signing with the Portland Trailblazers for Gary Payton Jr. Gary Payton Jr. 3-year deal, $28 million. NBA champion, was definitely a big piece of Golden State. But hey, they let him walk, they let him go, get his money. Now he's going to be playing in Portland with Dame Lillard. What up, Sleeping Angels? With Damian Lillard. I think they're going to sign Jordan Poole back. The obvious question for the Warriors, they're going to sign Jordan Poole back. You do not let other people walk. Toscano Anderson, you let Otto Porter walk. You let Gary Payton Jr. walk. You let Toscano Anderson walk. That's going to free up some money for, guess what? Jordan Poole to kind of stay there a little bit. So that may be the next move. Notable remaining free agencies. You got Harden, Zach LaVine is off the board. DeAndre Ayton still on the board. Miles Bridges still on the board. Mitchell Robinson is off the board. Colin Sexton still on the board. Right there. Yusuf Nurkic is out. You got TJ Warren, who's still on the board. You got Melo still on the board. You got Kevon Looney still on the board. Dante DiVincenzo. You got DeMarcus Cousins. Dennis Schroeder still on the board. You got Blake Griffin still on the board. Otto Porter Jr., Gary Payton Jr. is off the board. Montrezl Harrell still on the board. Bruce Brown is off the board. Thomas Bryant is still on the board. So those are you guys that's still on the board. He said Kevin Huerter to Sacramento. What's good? He said thank God. Hey man, you didn't have to, I don't think you had to panic on that. Y'all was gonna get. I don't think Zach LaVine was gonna leave y'all. You didn't have to panic on that. Really didn't have to panic on that too much. I didn't sense no Zach LaVine would leave. I didn't sense that he was leaving. Luol Deng is officially off of the Lakers cap sheet. So Luol Deng finished off his last getting paid. Pretty much. The Lakers are done paying him. What's good? Raider Cortez, what's good, my guy? What's good? What's up, brother? What's up, Raider Cortez? Shout out to Raider Cortez in the building. Kevin Durant is still on the board. Yes, he's going to be on the board for a while. I got a feeling about that. He's going to be on the board for a little while. But then he's still on the board because trade. He got to be traded. He can't walk. He can't walk anywhere. So he's still on the board. He's going to stay on the board until the Brooklyn Nets find a deal that they can find a deal that feels was best suit for their future. Remember, Kevin Durant doesn't have no leverage. They can trade him anywhere they want to. He does not have leverage. He's still under contract for 4 years, so he can't just go where they want to. Yes, he got a wish list. Yes, he got a wish list out. But he doesn't have leverage. So where he wants to go actually doesn't. If he wants to go to Miami, then Ben Simmons is going to have to go with them to Miami. If he wants to go to Phoenix, then Then Phoenix, well, he can't go to Phoenix because they want Devin Booker. Devin Booker just got paid. He just got paid. So he really actually can't go to Phoenix actually like that. But they said 4 first-round picks. They said 4 first-round picks from Phoenix. That's what the news said when I went up, just read it to y'all a few minutes ago. They said 4 first-round picks. So let's see who's gonna budge on it. Jokic signs a 5-year deal. Nikola Jokic, 2-time MVP, signs a 5-year deal, $264 million. Damn, they almost paid him $300 million. They almost paid him $300 million. God damn, that boy got the bag. Let me hold some of that money, Jokic. You know, some of that goddamn bread. Devin Booker, 4 years, $214 million. 14 mil. Ja Morant, 5 years, $193 million. And you got Karl Anthony Towns, 4 years, $224 million. God damn, boy. These boys broke the bank. Kevon Looney still out there. He said the Warriors wants to bring back both Looney and Gary Payton Jr. But like I say, they didn't bring back Gary Payton. They didn't bring back Gary Payton Jr. They didn't bring him back at all. So again, right now they showed the Lakers depth chart. Auntie Six, what's good, Auntie Six? Hold on. Auntie Six, you still in the building? Auntie Six, you still in the building? The Lakers made some good moves as well. So Toscano Anderson, I think he's okay. I don't think he's nothing to jump up and down about. He doesn't play all the time, but I got a sense he's going to play a lot more with the Lakers. We'll see what he got. I actually like Lonnie Walker. I think Lonnie Walker can shoot. He's a very good shooter. He's a very good defender. I like Lonnie Walker. I don't know how Max Christie is going to do. Troy Brown Jr. is also a good player. He's also a pretty solid player. Good defender and improved shooter. Right now, the Lakers depth chart: Russell Westbrook. This is your depth chart right now, Auntie Six. This is y'all guys, roster depth chart right now. As far as if the seasons could start, this is y'all depth chart. You got Russell Westbrook, Kendrick Nunn, who didn't play all last year. You got Austin Reeves. I don't know why Austin Reeves didn't stay playing. I don't know why he didn't stay playing. The guy was actually good, but sometimes he played, sometimes he didn't. I don't know why he didn't stay playing. Lonnie Walker, solid pickup for the Lakers. I like him. He's a good shooter, 3-and-D player, pretty much that can play defense. Max Christie, a solid shooter. Would he get up there to the NBA? I don't know. But again, Troy Brown Jr., you got Taylor Horton-Tucker right here. LeBron James wants Toscano Anderson, who's a solid shooter, but I want to see him play more. He's going to play a lot more with the Lakers. Stanley Johnson, a great defender, not so much of a very good shooter. Anthony Davis, you will love to see him on the court in a uniform more than a suit and tie or in street clothes. Damon Jones, they used to play for Sacramento, and he played for the Warriors as well. And you got Wendell Gabriel. That is Auntie Six, you guys roster right now, your depth chart right now. That is your depth chart right now. And LeBron James is on your team. LeBron James right there. That is the Lakers depth chart right there. This is not okay depth chart. It's okay, but it's when LeBron James make anything look good, You said, let me guess, Hero, or you said, let me guess, Hero was in the package. Said they did a mock draft on Kevin Durant. They said Lowry, Hero, Jovic, 3 first-round picks, pick swaps. God damn. You don't know where Jovic is right now, so I definitely make that move. But it'll be interesting to see what they do with Kyle Lowry. Do they trade Kyle Lowry? It'll be interesting. I mean, Jimmy Butler. As long as you have Jimmy Butler, and Kevin Durant, you should be able to get by. You should be able to get by. As long as you better want them gone anyway. Want Kyle Lowry gone anyway. But Erik Spoelstra and Pat Riley, Gabe Vincent, that's not a bad talent right there. That's not something that's bad right there. That's very good right there. You said, Coach Dante, why you think the Lakers don't want THT? I don't know. Bam is off the table. No, I wouldn't trade Bam. I wouldn't trade him at all. He's off the table. I wouldn't give a damn. He's off the table. Bam will be off of the table. He would not be on that table. He would not be on the table for me. Why you think that I mean, again, man, LeBron James, bro. LeBron James, like when you get a LeBron James in your system, He wants to win now. He's not the type of guy that wants to develop guys, young guys. That's what LeBron James is right now. He's not the type of person that wants to develop guys. So he does not want, if you don't have experience on a team, LeBron James do not F with you. He do not just, he just don't. He just don't. He just don't. So you have a feeling Jovic is going to be good. Yep. I mean, he may be good down the road, but Burn, right now, you don't know where you don't know how good he's gonna be. You just don't know. You just don't know how good he's gonna be. You can have a feeling about that. If he be good, he'd be good. But you're getting someone better than Kevin Durant. So you gotta realize, a lot of people gotta realize, if you want to win a championship in this league throughout trades or throughout anything you can do to win a championship. If you want to win championships in the league, I don't care. I don't give a damn how good you like the player or the player favorite. Sacrifice is just gonna have to be made. That's just what's gonna have to happen. Yes, Jovic may be better. Yeah, Jovic may be good, but Kevin Durant is a superstar. He's a top 2 star in the game. He's the top 2 star in my books in the game. Don't care how many who got more championships. Don't care about that. He's a top 2 player in the league. He's a better player. He's just a better player. Can't go by because people won championships in this league. We got to stop using that narrative. We know Curry's not better than LeBron James. We know that. We know Kevin Durant is not. We know Kevin Durant is better than Steph Curry. Just because Curry got more championships, that don't mean anything. Who's the better player at the end of the day? Who's the better overall player? That's my criteria. That is my criteria at the end of the day. That is my criteria. Who do you guys think is better out of Damian Lillard and Russell Westbrook? I think Damian Lillard is the better basketball player. I think Damian Lillard is the better overall basketball player. Fuck the triple doubles. I think Damian Lillard is the better basketball players. He outplayed Russell Westbrook. In all the meetings that they had in the playoffs. Like I say, that's how everybody has a different criteria. You can disagree, you can agree, but everybody just have a different criteria. I have different criteria. Sometimes I just think the player is better. I just think the player, is a lot better. It's just a lot better. They got more. Yes, Curry got more championships than LeBron and Kevin Durant, but he's not a better player than that one of them. He's not a better player. I said Donovan Mitchell and Kevin Durant, who Pat Riley is after. Hey, I told you can't rule out Pat Riley. Pat Riley is always going. Every free agency, Pat Riley is going to be up. Pat Riley is going to be up to something. Every free agency, Pat Riley is going to be up to something. Burn, you may like Jovic, you may like Jovic, but you don't know where he is right now. You just don't know where he at right now. Kevin Durant is a top 2 player in the league. You know that. But yeah, we can all keep bashing Kevin Durant, about, leaving the Golden State Warriors. We can all really actually do that. And that was a mistake. But he's still a top 2 player in this league. He's still a top 2 player in the NBA. Come on now. He's still a top 2 player in the NBA. Just because he left Golden State and stuff like that, he's getting a lot of flack for that. But he's still a top 2 player. Let's be honest. Curry is the heart and soul of Golden State. He is, the future of Golden State, but Kevin Durant is actually the better player. He was the better player. He was the best player on the team. He was the best player on Golden State team. Even though they could win without him, but let's be real, he's the best player. He was the best player on Golden State team. Curry is the franchise cornerstone of the team. So Kevin Durant, that was never Kevin Durant's team. It's never the Kevin Durant's team. We just got to be honest. He was the best player on the team, and he just made it more unstoppable. He just made the team. When he was healthy, he just made the team more unstoppable. That was it. He just made the team more unstoppable. That was the beat. Andre Drummond signs a 2-year deal with the Chicago Bulls. Andre, shout out again. Shout out to my boy Gooley. My boy Gooley got him a big man. He got his guy back. He said Curry impacts winning more. Yes, he impacts winning, but who's the better player at the end of the day? He impacts winning more, but who's the better player at the end of the day? Who's the better player at the end of the day, Troy? Who's the better player at the end of the day? Who's the best player at the end of the day? You can win. Just because you can win, you win more championships. That don't mean you're actually the better player. So just because you can win championships. It don't mean you can hey, Shaq won more championships than Elijah won. Who's the better player? Shaq won championships, more championships than Elijah won. If you ask anybody, who's the better player? Who's actually the better player? Who's the better player? If anybody can answer the question, who's actually the better player? You can ask anyone. It's a debate. You can ask Shaq, but to me, it ain't no debate. Who's the better player? Shaq played with Kobe. Shaq played with Kobe most of the career. He played with Kobe the most of the career. Hakeem Olajuwon won 2 championships without even having 1 All-Star on his team. He won 2 championships without even having 1 All-Star. If you don't throw in Clyde Drexler because he didn't get selected or he wasn't an All-Star at the time. And he was traded to the Rockets during the trade deadline. So if you ask me, who's the better player out of those 2 guys? Shaq won more championships, but who's the better player? If you, I say, I'll wait for anybody else to answer the question. Yes, he won more. I don't care about that. Not that disrespect to Steph Curry, but I mean, hey, Kevin Durant is actually the better player. Is actually better than Steph Curry. Actually, LeBron is better than Steph Curry. Actually, he's a better player. Yes, he won more, but he's the better player. Everywhere LeBron James, you may not like him, everywhere he went to, he won. He made every franchise. Like he can go to the worst team in the NBA. He can go to the worst team in the NBA right now. They'll be a playoff team. They're a playoff team. He can go to any player. He can go to any team in the league right now. They're a playoff team. They're literally going to be a playoff. And plus, people are going to want to come play with him. Yeah, you know already. People going to want to come play with him. That's just how much LeBron impacts the game. We got to look at it all in that phase. We can't just look at in the NFL, baseball. We can't look at who won more championships. We cannot look at just who won more. Oh, who won more championships? Who did more? Yes, Curry impacts winning, but who's the better player overall? Who is the better player overall? Sometimes we got to look at the organization, what they put around these guys. What do they put around these guys? Yes, Kevin Durant was in a great situation with OKC, and he shouldn't have left to go to the Golden State Warriors just to win him a championship, just to win a championship. He shouldn't have. But at the end of the day, he's still a better player. Regardless of how much flock he gets. Anybody will take Kevin Durant on their damn team right now. Anybody will take Kevin Durant on their team right now. Anybody would do that. Anybody would do it. Anybody probably would do it. Even though it's a different criteria why you wouldn't do it, because sometimes you didn't want to mess with the chemistry. You don't want to mess with the chemistry. You don't want to mess with a lot of teams' chemistry. Like Golden State, he went to Golden State though. He went in free agency, but guess what? They took him on the team. He went, and Draymond Green recruited him. Actually, Draymond Green actually won them. You got to look at can this person, like Burns said, Curry can't even carry the Warriors without Clay. Can't even carry the Warriors without Clay and Draymond. But I can't use that narrative though. I can't use that narrative against them because they were all drafted and brought up together. I can't use the narrative against them. When Curry first came in the league, he started getting injured. He started getting hurt a lot. But I can't use that narrative because you got to give credit to Golden State. They drafted well. They drafted the players well. You know Kevin Durant can carry a team by himself because you seen that last year when he almost beat Milwaukee. He almost beat Milwaukee by himself. By a foot on the goddamn line. He almost beat Milwaukee. He almost beat them. He almost beat Milwaukee. So you can see, he can carry a team. You said, I don't know, it's debatable. How is it debatable? What, like Troy, what is you debating on? Like, what is the debate about? Because your logic as he won way more. So you think he's a better player just because he won championships and just because Shaq won more championships than Elijah won? Why do you think it's that debatable? Now, if you look at you compare the numbers, you compare their numbers, and yes, people think stats don't matter. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Stats matter to some degree. They matter to some degree. They matter to some degree. For right now, for my aspect, Troy, your criteria is you win. How does it? He's winning. He's winning. He's winning. But you got to look at how the organization is built, what the organization done for this player, and you got to look at what the player has done for the organization as well. And basically, I go by the better player as well. I look at all of those things. Yes, Curry has won more than Kevin Durant, but we all know Kevin Durant is the better player than Steph Curry. We all just really know that. We all know that. You can factor winning into it. Hell, Russell Westbrook won more than Damian Lillard did. He won more than Damian Lillard did, actually did. I'm not talking about winning one-on-one. I'm not talking about winning one-on-one because he damn sure ain't going to be the one-on-one. He's not going to be the one-on-one. You talking about basically on the court wise. On the court wise, for us winning, just because you beat somebody one-on-one don't mean you're actually a better player. You're a better player. But like I say, at the end of the day, you just go, your criteria is winning. Yes, he wins, but we all know Kevin Durant is just, a better player. A better player. I don't want to throw one-on-one in this. Yes, you're gonna say now Steph Curry has one more. He has one more. And like I say, on the court overall, it makes him a better basketball player than Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, you can look at this. Kevin Durant better on defense. He's better on defense. He's way better on defense. He's not a better shooter than Steph Curry. He's not better moving on and without the ball. Without the ball, he's not better. He's not better than Steph Curry doing that. He's not better than doing that. He's a better scorer than damn sure a better scorer than Stephen Curry. He's a better scorer than him. But again, yes, Steph Curry has won. Shaq won more than Elijah won. But everybody will pick Elijah won over Shaq. Because Shaq had to carry the Houston Rockets. He had to carry us to a championship. Elijah Wan had to carry us to a championship. He had to literally carry us to a championship. Shaq had Kobe. So it's different criteria you got to look at. Winning trumps everything, but it's different criteria how you look at it. Yeah, they should have beat the Warriors. I agree with that. They should have beat the Warriors. Russell Westbrook didn't step up. Said Kevin Durant aren't even a good defender. You crazy. They're not on the same level. Kevin Durant is a better defender. Yes, he is. He's a better defender than Steph Curry. He could defend. He can defend. You crazy. I don't know what you're looking at. He could defend. He actually can defend. He can defend. He can defend, Troy. He can defend, bro. Come on now. Come on now, Troy. He can defend. Yes, he could. He can defend. He can defend people. He can defend people. Come on now. Come on, Troy. He can do that. Yes, he could. He said he's not even a good defender. I don't know what you're looking at, Troy. Don't know what you're looking at, but hey, he can defend. Curry competes. I wouldn't say Curry is a bad defender, but Curry competes on the defensive side of the ball. Curry can compete. Curry is an average defender. I wouldn't say he's a bad defender, but he competes. He competes. I wouldn't say he's a bad defender. He's just not a better defender than Kevin Durant. But you got to factor all of those, and you got to factor all of those into everything. It depends on what criteria you have, actually. It depends on what criteria you have. Shout out to the 18 people. We got 18 people in the chat today, man. Shout out to you guys, man. Just depends on the criteria you guys got, man. Just depends on your criteria. My criteria is different from everybody's criteria. If you factor winning as your criteria, hey, there you go by your criteria. You factor winning into it. I don't just factor winning in championships in my criteria. I just don't do that. I factor organization, the team built around them. I factor, rebounding, defensive wise, shooting. I factor everything else. I factor everything. Your criteria is winning, so you're different. So you think Steph Curry is the better player because he wins more. He wins more. I know. See, like I say, I'm not mad at your criteria. You got your criteria, better. You got your criteria. That's your criteria. But again, that you got winning over everything is the reason, why these players are better. So otherwise, you will pick Olajuwon over Shaq over Olajuwon because the criteria, your criteria is winning, not what's built around the player, not what the player had to carry through. Not that your criteria is winning overall. My criteria is not just winning. Because what if the people can't build? What if the organization doesn't build around the player? It's not built around the player the right way. What are the player impact towards a team? What is the player impact towards the team? Hey, my criteria is just different. I mean, it's your criteria, I ain't gonna get mad at it. I'm not arguing over it. It's just, hey, I go better player, and I go organization wise. And Kevin Durant, like just because Curry got more championships, Kevin Durant's still actually better player than him. A better player. It's just he got the championships. He got more. He just got the championships. He just won more championships than him. Just because a person won more championships, that means he's better player. But hey, that's your criteria. Oh, sad. Wait a minute. Hey, Key. Hey, Key, so it's 4 my time, right? Or 5 my time? The show is 5 my time. The show is 4 my time? Just 5, regular. It's 4 my time. All right, I'm gonna tell ECG I gotta miss that show. I tell him I gotta miss it because he set it back to 4. I gotta tell him I'm gonna just be on thing Sunday with him because he got it at 4. So I'm gonna tell him I'm gonna miss it. Let me get back to these signings. My bad, y'all. I got off guard. I got off covered. You said. Hold on. Let me get back to these deals right quick. So can you answer this, Troy? If Steph Curry, like Burr said, without a Klay Thompson, and just saying for instance, if Steph Curry without a Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, do you think? Well, like I said again, I can't say that because Curry did carry the Warriors. Curry did carry the Warriors to almost the playoffs. He did carry the Warriors. So I can't really say that. Can't really say that because he only carried them at least one time. But how many times do you think the Warriors can carry Curry can carry the actually Warriors without those guys? But at the same time, I can't use that narrative because again, he's already carried the Warriors to at least a play-in game. So I gotta give him that. But again, LeBron James has consistently carried each and every team to the finals. He carried the Cleveland Cavaliers to the finals by his third year. He carried the 2017 Cleveland Cavaliers to the finals. He carried that team. He tried to carry the Lakers this year. Yes, Curry caught him in championships, but LeBron literally sometimes has nothing around him. He still can carry a team to the championship series, to the NBA Finals. He still can carry a team. He still can actually carry a whole team by himself, and he did it multiple years. So I say I'm not going to use that narrative against Steph Curry because he carried them to the to the play-in tournament. He carried them actually to the play-in tournament. he actually carried them to a play in tournament, so I can actually use it against him. Hold on, let me see. Hey, he came back and beat the 70. Hey, Troy, he came back and beat the 73-9 team, which was the Golden State Warriors. He came back. Hey, it was times Curry didn't finish the job. He didn't finish the job. He didn't finish the job against LeBron James. So again, you can't use that narrative. You can't use that narrative. Talking about finish the job. Jordan finished the job. Kobe didn't finish the job all the time. In the finals, he didn't do it against the Pistons. He didn't finish the job. He didn't finish the job against the Pistons, did he? Did Kobe finish the job against the Pistons? Did he finish the job against the Boston Celtics? Did he do that? So you can't use that narrative. That narrative is shot right there. Stephen Curry didn't finish the job against the Toronto Raptors. He didn't do that. Well, regardless, his team was hurt, but you said finish the job. So I'm gonna put that in perspective. He didn't finish the job against the Raptors. He didn't finish the job against the Raptors. He didn't finish the job against Cleveland when he was up 3-1. He didn't finish that job. So hey, I can use your narrative against you on that part. You can say the team was hurt. You can say the team was hurt, but he didn't finish the job. The team was hurt, but he didn't finish the job. He didn't finish the job. So it's time Steph Curry choked as well. So hey, the narrative shot right there. But you said finish the job. Everybody lost the finals. LeBron James is how many? LeBron won 4 championships, right? He won 4 championships, right? But you said it doesn't matter. I don't care about the win percentage. I don't really care about that win percentage. I don't really care about it because again, you gotta look at the teams the guy was on, and he still carried the championship. He still carried them. There's only so much a superstar can take on his shoulder. You got to look at that. You're just looking at one specific player and saying he's the win percentage. You're just looking at the win. You got to look at who he had on his team. The guy had a washed up ass Darren Williams on his team. He had J.R. Smith on his team. He had Tristan Thompson, who wasn't good anymore. Wasn't really good anymore. It's a lot of players that didn't finish the job in the NBA Finals. There's a lot of people that didn't finish the job. A lot of people.
Did you hear about the trade, Dante?
Which one?
The Boston Celtics is trading for Malcolm Brogdon.
No, I didn't hear about that. Hold on. Let me
Daniel Tice is let me just go to it real quick. Let me show you. So it's the Indiana Pacers are trading Malcolm Brogdon to the Boston Celtics. The Celtics are sending Daniel Tice and Aaron Nesmith in the 2023 first-round pick to Indiana.
Okay, I'm here. I see the roster right here. Malcolm Brogdon and Marcus Smart. They got a true point guard right here, so they're going to trade right there. They're going to trade right there. Right there. Go ahead.
So Woj say that the Celtics wanted to land a true playmaking point guard and now acquire Michael Brogdon without costing themselves a core player. The Pacers land another first-round pick in the deal.
Hey, Troy, like I say, man, I don't get salty, bro. I don't get salty over no. It's opinion is opinion. I just have a different criteria. LeBron is 4-6 in the finals. Curry also lost 2 finals as well. They both lost the same amount of finals. 2 finals. They both lost 2 finals. It's not an argument. Everybody got an opinion, but I got a different.
No, LeBron lost like 6 finals. What are we talking about? He's 4.
But everybody lost finals. Everybody lost finals.
Not everybody
lost finals. Curry lost 2 finals. KD lost 2 finals. Everybody lost finals. The only one that didn't lose the finals was Michael Jordan. That's pretty much the only person. And Keem Olajuwon. I don't think Keem Olajuwon, matter of fact, lost 1 finals. That was it. The only one that didn't lose the finals was Michael Jordan. That's the only one who didn't lose the finals. That's the only one who didn't lose the finals.
That's
pretty
true.
Much, yeah, that's the only one who didn't lose the finals. Pretty much everybody else lost the finals. But again, like I say, it's like I say, everybody has a different criteria. Everybody have a different criteria is really different.
So what was being said in the chat about LeBron James?
No, I was just saying, like a lot of people were saying Curry was better than LeBron James and Kevin Durant. I don't think he's better than both of those guys. But again, most people factor winning as a criteria. I don't factor just winning alone as a criteria. Everybody has criteria.
But I can agree to a certain extent.
Yes,
yeah, LeBron is a generational superstar.
Yes.
Kevin Durant, and people can say what they want about Kevin Durant, and I'm going to be blatantly honest. Kevin Durant is not a loyal player. I think he's soft. I think he's I just think he's soft. I just think he's in his feelings about why Kyrie Irving left. I just felt like he had to run and chase range just like LeBron James. Now the difference between those two is Steph Curry. Steph Curry was drafted to a Warriors team that was at the bottom of the goddamn barrel.
Yeah,
they built that team to win 4 championships. Now I can say this: yes, they didn't need Durant to win those 2 championships that Durant won. They did not need him. Durant needed the Warriors to win championships. So that's why I say I could put them a little bit higher, because what Curry done under one team. The Warriors was one of the worst teams in the league when Curry got there. They built that team around Curry, and he added a few pieces. Durant wanted to go to Golden State. Curry didn't want Durant. Let's just keep it a buck. So that's why I say if you want to go off that alone, we already know Durant and LeBron James are generational talents. Yes, talent-wise, I think they're better than Steph Curry, but Steph Curry is better than those two when it comes to building a franchise.
I mean, LeBron James. I mean, I wouldn't call Miami that going to a super team. I mean, free agency, Chris Bosh went along to Miami with LeBron James. So again,
that is a super team.
They still didn't win. They didn't win. They still wasn't picked to win the finals. Dallas won the finals that year. Dallas actually won the finals.
Yeah, that's that 1 year. But those back-to-back years that Miami won, that was a super team. Of course, when you have a super team,
they was a super team, but they wasn't they wasn't already together. They wasn't already together. Like Kevin Durant went to the Warriors. They were already together. They were already together. And
they was already together. But together, Dante. They was already together in the Golden State Warriors. But Durant needed the Warriors. The Warriors didn't need Durant.
Yes, I agree.
That's what I'm saying.
And I didn't like what he did. I didn't like what he did. He should not have went to Golden State. He should have either stayed in OKC.
They had to join
teams. Went to Boston. I thought he
went to Boston. Kevin Durant, LeBron James had to join teams to win championships. Yes, understand LeBron James went back. He went to the finals when he was with the Cleveland Cavaliers his first time around, and then he won it the second time around. But even after he won the second time around, he was not loyal to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and that's what they generational stars. They some of the greatest superstars that came through the NBA, the National Basketball Association. I'm not taking nothing away from that, but do you really think if those two players stayed on those prospective teams, will we be talking about GOATs right now? No, we will not.
I mean, I'm just saying, but I'm not gonna blame. I'm not. I get like I say, I'm not gonna. Everybody criteria is different. I'm not gonna give LeBron flack from leaving Cleveland because again, nothing was built around him. I mean, of course, if everybody was in the league today, and your organization hasn't done anything for you to make this team better. If I had to carry a team throughout my third year and get swept by San Antonio, literally have a washed up Shaq, a washed up Darren Williams, I'm gonna want to leave too. I'm gonna want to leave my team too.
But let's be honest here. This past year, right, with the Lakers, LeBron brought all those players in.
Yes.
Right?
It was his fault.
Hear me out. That second year around, he brought those players in. That second year around with Cleveland, he brought those players in. My question to him is that first year around, why you could not, if you was considered the best player in the league that first time around, why you didn't have that authority to bring players in if your name is LeBron James? I'm sorry to say, I'm not making no excuse. I'm not making no excuse for yes, the organization has something to do with it. But if you are a superstar in this league and you want somebody to come to a city to play for you, then you go out and reach out to that. It didn't take him long to go out and reach out to Chris Bosh or reach out to Dwayne Wade for him to come to Miami.
Yep.
So why you couldn't do it when you were the Cavalier first time around? You was just trying to get out and dodge, and I didn't like that at all. I did not like it at all. So the organization, yes, they had something to do with it, but LeBron had something to do with it because LeBron, even though this first 3 to 4 years that he was with Cleveland,
he brought actually those players. He brought those players in, but I mean, just to still get them get that Cleveland team to the finals. I mean, hey, he still got him to the finals, even though he
still got him to the
he still got him over the top.
He still got him to the finals. But at the end of the day, you having so much success in the East with that Cleveland team, you could have built around that Cleveland team because your name is LeBron James. Your name, LeBron James, alone will want people to come play with you, even when he was his first year around.
I mean, like I said again, I'm not gonna like everybody's stuff is different. I can't give him that much fly. I mean, the man went to the finals 8 straight years. That's even hard to do. Take a team to the finals 8 straight years. Yes, he has some issues with the organization building around his own team, but it didn't work. But like I say, as a whole, you may not have the best roster you need to win basketball games. Everybody don't have the best roster. Don't have the best. We all agree that Bradley Beal should have left the Washington Wizards.
I don't think so.
He should have left the Washington Wizards. That's his best chance of winning a championship.
I don't think so. I think they're trying to stray away from the super teams because you see what Golden State is doing. Golden State is doing it without a super team. They built that team through the draft, and they went and got role players and free agents. They did not go and get another super. Yeah, Durant was a superstar, yes, but Durant was going to the Warriors. The Warriors didn't need Kevin Durant. Though they would have won them 2 championships without Kevin Durant. I'm just gonna be completely honest. They would have won. They could have
won. They won one this year. They could have won without. I can agree. I definitely agree. The Warriors didn't need him. The Warriors didn't need him at all.
And I feel like with the Warriors, with the Wizards, the Washington Wizards is doing right now, they're building for success for Bradley Beal. I'm sorry to say they put a young core around him that's talented and that's really good. Monte Morris, Will Barton, they 2 solidified players that you put around him that could possibly score the basketball outside of Bradley Beal. And then you go in the draft and they draft really well. And then looking at free agency, they got some pieces they building together. They're going to build the mind you, we in the Eastern Conference where the Wizards could be a 6 seed at on paper right now. They could be a 16 because that's how weak the East is. But at the same time, it gives these teams to compete in the Eastern Conference. And that's what I like about it. Now we get to see teams that normally don't make it can probably get into the playoffs this year. And I like the way the Wizards has built this team so far. I like what the Wizards is doing.
Yeah, I like what they're doing too. I
think that was Bradley Beal's reasoning of staying because I think Will Barton and Monte Morris was the icing on the cake, and you still got Huchimera, you still got Porzingis, you still have I forgot who they drafted in the draft, but they got some good mix of veteran with young core, and that's what I've been saying. Like you're going to need a little bit of veterans and a little bit of young guys to mix and match to get that experience, and I think that's going to help in being Bradley Beal at the helm. And people can say what they want. Like I said last night, and I said the night before. I said, yeah, people come in to win championships. They do. Some people do. Some people don't. Some people want to be loyal to their team. Fine. But if you had a illustrious career and you didn't win a championship, and
it's not going to define your career. It's not going to actually define your career.
In basketball.
That's why I don't go by win. That's why I don't go by winning all the time because that's another criteria of mine. Because again, you don't have to win. You don't have to win championships just to be great in this league. You're still going to be noticed. See,
with football is a little bit different. They say, oh, you can't get in without winning a Super Bowl. But it's harder to get in the Hall of Fame without a Super Bowl than it's harder to get in there. And the NBA is easier because the NBA goes off of everything. The Basketball Hall of Fame goes off college and professional basketball careers. They go by both. So even if Bradley Beal has a illustrious career, you wouldn't be surprised he'll be in the Hall of Fame.
He'll be in the Hall of Fame. He'll be in the Hall of Fame. NFL go by that and beyond. They tried to keep T.O. off of the Hall of Fame because it's off the field issues, literally, because off the field purposization. So NFL go by more than really will tell you more than that. If you have off the field issues, they're going to give you a lot of flock for the NBA. You can just be the best player you can become. If Steph Curry didn't have championships to this day, he still would be Hall of Fame worthy. He still be a Hall of Famer. Klay Thompson will be a Hall of Famer. I think Draymond Green is a Hall of Famer in my books. I think he's a Hall of Famer.
That's where I'm not going to go crazy at.
No, I think
Curry's going to start saying that he's better than Kobe.
It's about. I think
Curry's never going to be better than Kobe. He's not going to be better than Jordan.
No, you talking about?
He's not going to be. He's not. If they affordable, they're not, man.
Yeah,
not.
What's up, Todd? Go ahead, Coach.
But I can say that Malcolm Brown. I said it a few times on our show, especially if y'all want to watch the Darian Hopkins show at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Spotlight Sports Network. But I can say, like I've been saying it, Boston is missing a true guard, and now they went out and got a guard with Malcolm Brogdon. Now, Jason Tatum does not have to bring the ball up. Jaylen Brown does not have to bring the ball up. I love it. I love the Malcolm Brogdon trade. I really do. Only thing about Malcolm Brogdon is that can he stay healthy? That is the question. If he can stay healthy, this Boston team might be the top team in the East. And that's coming from a Sixers fan.
So if Curry wins 6 championships, you're putting him over Kobe. You're going to put him over Kobe.
No.
That's the same thing I'm saying. That's the same thing.
No.
That's the same thing. I would. That's why I'm not putting him over.
I think Kobe lost one finals.
Curry lost put him over Kobe.
Yeah, Curry lost 2 finals. Kobe lost 1. What are we saying?
Wow.
Enough said. What are we saying? You can't put him over Kobe. Absolutely not. You can't.
That's why I'm not putting him over LeBron James. I'm not putting him over Kobe. I'm not putting him over MJ.
I'm putting him over LeBron James.
I can't put him over LeBron.
I'm sorry.
I apologize. I can't. I disagree. I can't put him over LeBron. I can't put him over.
I'm sorry. He got 4 rings.
I don't care how many rings he got.
No. Actually, LeBron got 4 rings, right?
Yes, he got 4 rings.
He got 4 rings with 3 different teams. Sorry,
I understand. He still carried all to the championships. He still put.
He didn't carry. Oh no, he did not. That Miami team, he did not have to carry.
If LeBron's not on that Miami team, they don't win a championship. They don't win a championship. LeBron not on that team.
Dwayne Wade won championships without LeBron James. So what are we saying?
Yeah, I mean, he won 1 championship without LeBron James. He won 1 championship without LeBron James. LeBron was still a catalyst of the team when he won a championship.
No,
LeBron was still. And Wade took the next seat.
That's why LeBron went to Miami, because LeBron needed help. He needed help.
You say, oh, now finals don't matter? I'm just saying. You can't put him over Kobe because he won more championships. You can't do that because he won 6 championships. You can't put him over Kobe because he did that.
You gotta look at. I see what LeBron James is just that it really tarnished his career that he's been on 3 teams in all the finals that he's been in. It really tarnished that because he's been on. Hold up. So he won 2 with Miami. He won 1 with Cleveland and 1 with the Lakers. So that's 4 championships in 3 teams, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So for me, when you have more losses in a finals than you have more wins, that's a problem to me. That's a problem because y'all can say, "Oh, he didn't have no." Y'all made an excuse for him in Cleveland. People made an excuse for him when he lost the first one against Dallas. Like, we're not gonna keep making excuses for LeBron James.
It's not an excuse. I mean,
it is an excuse.
No, it's not.
It is an excuse.
It's not really. I mean, Michael Jordan lost 3 times to the Detroit Pistons before he went to the finals.
Yeah, he lost. Yeah, but that's in the that's in the conference finals. We talking about the NBA finals. Big difference.
The conference finals too. I mean, the conference
finals is not as the conference finals is big, but it's not as big as the actual.
It's still
finals.
big. It's still big.
But you see what Jordan did though. Why he couldn't get over the hump because he didn't have a team around him. And what did Jordan do?
Okay,
Jordan went to that far. Jordan. No. No, it's not. No, it's not because Jordan stayed in Chicago. That's the difference. He stayed in Chicago and stuck it out. He stuck it out.
It doesn't matter.
He stuck it out. He stuck it out.
He was a free agent.
If you are considered one of the best players in the league all time, you don't leave the team when it goes bad. Kobe never left the Lakers. Jordan never left the Bulls.
I mean, he was loyal to the Lakers even when he didn't have nothing. But I'm not going to flock a guy from leaving in free agency. I'm not going to put that.
Yeah, a guy like LeBron James. Yes, when you are a face of the NBA and you just keep jumping from team to team, just ring chasing. Sorry, dog. You can't be in the same comparison as Jordan. You can't.
I mean, like I say, again, that Miami team was not already together. That Miami team came together.
That Miami team. Hold on. The only two. If you want to be honest, that team was already put together. It was just LeBron James and Chris Bosh. It was just LeBron James and Chris Bosh and Ray Allen that went there. Everybody else was there already. Shane Battier was already there. Mario Chalmers was already there. We're not going to sit here and do this. The team was already there. They only brought in
Dwayne
other
Wade
players.
brought both of them to Miami too. You know, Dwayne Wade had a say so in it. It wasn't just LeBron James. They all three was talking to each other because Bosh literally was about to go to Houston before he ended up going to Miami, and Wade did have a say so on LeBron coming to Miami.
Because it's Wade. Because at the end of the day, even though LeBron was so-called the catalyst, it was Dwayne Wade's team. Let's keep it a buck. It was Dwayne Wade's team.
Yeah, but he brought him there.
Yeah, he brought him there. But I'm sorry to say, but like I'm not really a big fan of people switching teams just to ring chase. Like I don't like that. See, people can say that about Tom Brady, but Tom Brady went to a bad Tampa Bay Bucks team. They were good, but they wasn't great, and he made them great.
LeBron went to a bad Lakers team and made him and won a championship. Same thing.
LeBron went to the Lakers because look what he did to win that championship. He brought players in. If he would have stayed in Cleveland from his whole career and just brought players to Cleveland, he probably would have more than 4 championships. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. But no, you want to go play with other superstars, and now everybody want to do these big threes and all these superstars, and you see things are not working out. LeBron did it last year and tried to bring in Carmelo Anthony and bring in all these other players, bring in Russell Westbrook, and it didn't work out. The super team shit is out the door, and LeBron James started that super team shit, and now he's paying for it.
Hey, hold on, Jeff. I'm gonna let you in here in a minute, Jeff. I got you. But I want everybody to know in the chat. This is not an argument. This is basketball talk. This is all professional. We do this all the time on the Spotlight Sports Network. Everybody has their own criteria and different opinion. We're not saying LeBron is better than Michael Jordan. Hell no. I think Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time. It's just for everybody expected. Everybody from everything expected. This is more professional talk. It's not an argument. It's not even really down. It's not really. It's a debate, but it's not an argument. Me and Spotlight, we all do this every single time. Everybody has different perspective on winning and how better this player is. Everybody just have a different perspective. That doesn't mean it's not respected. But just say, that's disrespectful to put Curry over Kobe. That's disrespectful, and nobody wouldn't even do that.
Yeah, out of that, I would agree with that. But but the thing is, I could say more of LeBron. I could put Curry over LeBron than I could do Curry over Kobe. I could definitely.
I mean, it's yours. It's your opinion. I mean, I can't do it, but hey, everybody is different. Everybody is different. Everybody is a different. It has a different opinion. We not, like I say again. You say,
but New York Beast. I got a question for you, New York Beast.
Go ahead.
I got a question for you, New York Beast. Now, with that team with Parrish and McHale, where did Kevin McHale and Parrish come from before they went to Boston? They got them in the draft, right? If I'm not mistaken, did Boston get them in the draft? Because from what I remember, matter of fact, let me just go look it up right now. Let me look it up right now where Kevin McHale played before he went to Boston, and where did Parrish go before he went to Boston? Because from what I remember, I don't think it wasn't a real super team because Kevin McHale was not really an all-star at the time he was with Boston until he got to Boston. We talk about players that was already all-stars, that was already solidified, building super teams. That's what we're really saying.
Troy is different. Troy, one criteria is winning. One criteria is winning. Russell Westbrook won more than Damian Lillard. And I put Damian Lillard I think Damian Lillard is actually the better basketball player. I'm not going by the triple doubles. I'm not actually going by the triple doubles. You look at the eye test on the court, Damian Lillard outplayed Russell Westbrook in every big series. I'm not looking at take the triple doubles away from Russell Westbrook. I'm not looking at that. Damian Lillard is just a better overall player than Russell Westbrook if you look at it.
Kevin McHale was drafted. Let me go to his basketball career. So he was drafted by the Celtics in 1980. So that's not a super team. Sorry to say. They built around Larry Bird. Kevin McHale was a 6-man coming off the bench. He played for the Boston Celtics from 19. Let me see.
I know that. Troy Darko Milicic got a championship. I know that.
So basically, the Warriors traded in the draft because the Warriors picked up Robert Parrish in the draft, and they traded to the Boston. They traded Parrish to the Boston Celtics. So definitely, that's not a super team. That's built through the draft. Sorry to say. That's built through the draft with the Warriors. Sorry, NY Beast, New York Beast 360.
If you're built through the draft like Golden State is, I'm not calling that a super team just because they emerged. They emerged together. They emerged as talents together. So they are the Warriors were already drafted together. They were drafted and brought up, and Mark Jackson developed the team together. He developed both of those guys. He developed all three of those guys. So again, and Steve Kerr came in, he put a better system around him, put a better play style around him. And again, he built that team through the draft. He just built it through the draft the right way. They drafted well. So, like I say, they wasn't brought together in free agency. They were put together in the draft. But again, I'm saying, Dwayne Wade was a catalyst of bringing that team together, even though it was a super team. But he did bring the team actually together because Chris Bosh.
But I got a question though, Dante. Why LeBron James could not do that in Cleveland where he was doing it everywhere else, bringing players in? That's where I'm lost at with him. I think if he would have able to bring in players in that Cleveland in his early prime years, the Cleveland Cavaliers would have more than one championship. I'm being completely honest. And that's what makes me mad about LeBron James, because you're doing this with the Lakers. You did it with Miami, and you did it the second time around Cleveland. Just imagine if you did that the first time around Cleveland. How many championships you would have now? How many? You might have less losses than wins in the finals if you was to stay with that Cavaliers team and just built around it and went and got a super team. But no, he didn't do that. He took the easy way out and went to Miami and went with his best friend and his butt buddy, Chris Bosh, and he lost the first year. And that's what he get. He talked about, we went in 9, 10. I
disagree when he said he went in 9, 10. I definitely disagree with that part.
But it makes me feel like LeBron James is like Kevin Durant. Unloyal as hell. He's unloyal to a team. And that's what makes me mad about Kevin Durant and LeBron James. And we put these guys up there on this pedestal where those guys, if you can't beat them, join them. And that's exactly what it is with LeBron James and Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant had a 3-1 lead on the Warriors. And after he did that, he went to Warriors. So me, it's sucker moves. They're sucker moves to me.
How many years you can go losing without the organization just flat built around you? That's your question.
But how you a superstar? But how you a superstar and you don't go to the organization and tell them what you want?
He tried to, and they tried to do
not LeBron James.
LeBron James is the GM of the team. You don't think he tried to go to the organization and say, "Hey, you got a certain time limit on what you got to do"?
Because they tried
to bring Antoine Jameson in now. They brought Antoine Jameson. They tried to bring Shaq in there. That's on the organization. That's on the organization.
That's not on the organization. It's on the organization. Yes, it's on the organization. But that LeBron James didn't ask for no fucking Shaq or no Antoine Jameson.
Yeah, he didn't ask for him. They went out there and got him. That's the organization. That's on the organization. He didn't ask for a certain. He asked for all he asked for was more help. That's all he asked for. Because he knew the organization wasn't getting nowhere. It was only so long. It was only so long before he would have left.
LeBron would never get his respect.
LeBron
would never get his respect. LeBron would never get his respect over me, Selena. I'm sorry, LeBron would not get.
That's
because
you don't get no respect of you.
I'm sorry. When you gotta go to teams that's already solidified and teams that's already making the playoffs, and you gotta join teams because you can't beat them. Sorry to say that, but I'm sorry to say, LeBron James, he's talented. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's a bum. I'm not saying he's a scrub. I just don't like the moves that he made to go get championships. That's my only issue. He's not a Kobe Bryant, and he's damn sure not a Michael Jordan, so he would never be on top of those two. Sorry to say.
I'm like I say, that's your opinion. My opinion, like I say, disagree 1,000% with that. I don't believe you should get flopped from going somewhere else to winning a championship.
Kevin Durant is added to this convo. Kevin Durant is added to this convo because I think Kevin Durant is an overrated player at this point, and he's soft. I don't give a shit with nobody.
He may be soft, but I'm not going to call him overrated. He may be soft.
He's overrated, and he's unloyal, just like LeBron James. They both the same player.
He could be.
They very unloyal, and they that's why everybody want to go ring chase. And I'm kind of happy that Bradley Beal didn't leave Washington, because he's not going to ring chase. He's not going to ring chase for what? Because just because you join a good team, it doesn't guarantee you a championship. It just doesn't.
I mean, LeBron James was drafted by Cleveland, which was one of the worst organizations of all time, one of the worst organizations, and he went to the finals his third year. The Heat was a borderline, just a play. Well, they were just they was on a fringe of a playoff race
That makes
before they won a championship. And like I say, Wade, pretty much they all agreed. When Wade was in this, they all agreed and won a championship together. And they put
Let me say this to her. I can say this for Philly though. One thing I can say about Philly, Allen Iverson never. Only thing Allen Iverson stayed with his team, but yeah, he wanted to be out because of the whole Larry Brown saga. One thing I can say about Allen Iverson, he never wanted to leave Philly. Only reason why he left Philly because of Larry Brown. That's why. And you want to be honest with you want to be technical. I don't care if LeBron James. I don't care if Allen Iverson has no championships. He has the biggest accolade that Kobe did. Yep. He has the biggest accolade that LeBron or Kevin Durant don't have. Hall of Fame. How about that?
Well, they gonna be Hall of Fame. His career over, but he has it right now.
Yeah, so he has the biggest.
He has it right now. I'm not gonna knock. If you ever won championships in this league, I'm not knocking anybody. Look, at the end of the day, Iverson deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. He's a Hall of Famer. You're not gonna be knocked for not winning a championship. Steph Curry, if he doesn't have a championship, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. If he doesn't have a championship to this day, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. If LeBron doesn't have a championship, KD doesn't have a championship, they're going to be in the Hall of Fame because of how great of players they are. So we can't use that narrative because he never won a ring. He never got a ring. He's still a Hall of Famer. You will take that. You will take that.
And you got to think about it too. Allen Iverson is the reason why it's a Kevin Durant and LeBron James in the league. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it real. When it comes to dress code, when it comes to the braids and the headbands and the do-rags that they wear LeBron James and Kevin Durant used to wear back in the day, that was Allen Iverson doing. He did more than just play basketball. He revolutionized the game off the court as well. So we're not going to sit here and do that with Allen Iverson in the Philadelphia 76ers. Yes, my Sixers have not won a championship since 1983. But one thing I can say about my Philadelphia 76ers, most of those players are loyal. Simple as that.
Charles Barkley don't got a championship, and he's in the Hall of Fame. He doesn't have a championship.
And Charles Barkley's a Sixer. He's a Sixer. He's a Sixer. Keep going.
Yep. He started out. He didn't even want to go to the Sixers. He didn't want to be with the 76ers. And he didn't even want to be there. He didn't want to be with the 76ers, and they drafted him anyway. He didn't even want to be with the 76ers at first. And they drafted him anyway. And look how great he is. So, I mean, again, it's a lot of great players in this league that's Hall of Fame worthy. That's in the Hall of Fame and don't have a championship. Don't have a championship that's in the Hall of Fame. It's a lot of people. I got a
question though. Who is getting more? Who the kids are mimicking right now in the league? Steph Curry, right?
Yep.
They're mimicking. They're mimicking a little bit of James Harden with the step back 3-2, right? Mm-hmm. What are they actually mimicking off of LeBron James and Kevin Durant? What are they mimicking? What are they mimicking? No. I'm just saying, when it comes to revolutionizing the game and you're following after someone, who is doing what? Who is mimicking LeBron James right now? Probably Bronny, his son. But nobody's shooting the ball. Nobody's shooting the ball like Kevin Durant. Nobody's shooting the ball like LeBron James. Everybody want to shoot like Steph Curry. That's what revolutionizing the game is. You get what I'm saying? I'm not taking nothing away from LeBron. LeBron is a generational superstar. Yes, he's an advocate for kids getting out the hood. I love that. But nobody's out here like, oh, I want you to play basketball like LeBron James. No, they want to say, oh, I want you to play basketball like Steph Curry. You get what I'm saying there?
Yep. I mean, I believe it back in the day, it was Kobe and Jordan emulated their games towards each other. So, it's a big thing. But again, I mean, I don't take too much in consideration, in that part of things right there when they emulate games with each other. I don't take that as a big cornerstone at that point, but it was going on between Kobe and Jordan. People want to be like Mike. People want to be like Kobe. So that is a true thing.
People wanted to be like AI too. Like
that was a true statement. Like, Steve Francis.
Francis. Like
I remember Steve Francis was my favorite point guard. He's my favorite point guard in the league. Him and Allen Iverson had the best crossover. had the best crossover in the league at that time.
Do you think he had a better crossover than AI?
No, wasn't AI. They was almost similar, but it wasn't. No, he didn't have a better crossover than AI. No.
You know who had an underrated
good,
crossover? You know who had an underrated crossover? Jamal Crawford and Mitch Richmond. They had some underrated crossovers too.
Yep.
But you can't even use those crossovers in today's game anymore. You just can't.
Nah, I don't think he was a better crossover than AI. I don't think he was a better dribbler, but he was.
But I want to
actually dribble. Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to say, I want to just read this. It says this part of the super teams too, called the Celtics team in 2008, in 2009, and then the Heat in 2020s. But the thing about the difference between the Celtics and the Heat, Kevin Durant got traded to Boston. He got traded there. And who else was Ray Allen? Ray Allen was a free agent, but Ray Allen was kind of like, he was still in his career. He wasn't really as much of a big three, if you want to be honest. Like, I mean, he was part of that. He was part of that the shooting core of the Boston Celtics. But if you really want to look at that series, it was Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce. Let's keep it real. But I mean, he was traded there, and then you got Ray Allen in free agency. You still had Rajon Rondo already there. You already had Paul Pierce already there. So you already had players solidified there when Kevin Durant got traded to the Boston Celtics from Minnesota. So
you mean Kevin Garnett?
Yeah, Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett got traded to the Boston Celtics.
I mean, he got traded. He got traded there though. He got traded because the organization didn't do a goddamn thing for him, and they traded him, and got over there. So that's the reason why they actually traded him, because he didn't want to waste his career in Minnesota. He didn't want to waste his whole career in Minnesota, so they basically traded him over there. And anyway, the team wasn't really built together, but the team Ray Allen walked in free agency, went over there. Kevin Garnett was traded. So I mean, the team, it still was a super team, but the team wasn't put together. They wasn't brought together in free agency like LeBron James and Dwayne Wade them was. They wasn't brought. Right. They brought each other together. But Kevin Garnett going to Boston. But again, they won a championship. They deteriorated after that. LeBron beat them in a playoff matchup. But again, don't like. Again, that's what I basically was like talking about as well. Like, Minnesota has been asked for so many years. Their best year was the Western Conference Finals with Sam Cassell, Latrell Sprewell, who they should have paid. Organization should have paid Latrell Sprewell and Sam Cassell. They didn't want to pay now one of those two to stay with Kevin Garnett. And they were still good at that time. Sam Cassell was a little bit over the hill because he won 2 championships with the Houston Rockets. They should have paid both of them as well. Sam Cassell ended up going to the Clippers. He ended up taking them to the playoff, to the second round of the playoffs before losing to Phoenix. And he ended up deteriorating after that. And Kevin Garnett ended up, after that year, those Timberwolves were so goddamn bad after that. Kevin Garnett just axed out in the organization. Kevin McHale was the GM at that time too, as well. He said, we just going to trade Kevin Garnett to Boston and let him go somewhere else we can win. And bam, they outplayed Kobe and the Lakers. And you know what's so bad about it? You know who's the coach of that team, Coach Spotlight? You know who's the coach of that Boston team that they won a championship?
Doc Rivers.
Yeah. And Doc Rivers didn't get the credit. Tom Thibodeau got the credit for the defense. Paul Pierce gave Tom Thibodeau more credit than Doc Rivers did. He gave him more credit than Doc Rivers did. Actually, he did.
That's crazy.
What up, Jeff?
This is a good discussion. I'm enjoying it, what you guys are talking about right now. I like this, talking about some old school players, legacies being involved, some players, if they have the tainted championships for places where they went. There is one thing I will disagree about Kevin Durant, as much as he pisses me off right now as a Net fan because of what's happening at this moment. But I can't ever call that guy overrated on the court because his skills on the court are second to none. But in terms of him being soft, that is 100% true. Kevin Durant is one of the softest players in the NBA.
But But this is my thing. Though. This is why I say he's overrated. Yes, he's a great pure shooter. Yes, he's. I had issues. I had issues with him coming out of Texas. Don't get me wrong. I think he was too thin. I think he needed to bulk up and stuff like that. Yes, he's a pure shooter. He's one of the best shooters to ever do it. Don't get me wrong. He's very talented. But when you get what makes you great in this league, what makes you great as a player, is your mental. Who can get in your head and who cannot get in your head, and that's the problem with Kevin Durant. He has too many when he's out there. Yeah, he's too butthurt sometimes. He's too butthurt. He gets too emotional, and he shows it out on the court some nights. And I'm like, what?
Yeah,
like,
he lets the media and everybody get to him instead of going out there and letting his talent showcase what he can do.
Exactly,
that's exactly probably what happened to him this past playoff series against the Celtics. He was probably having the worst playoff series he's ever had in his career, and then he let all these people like the Stephen A. Smiths and all these guys get to him. And it's actually, I don't know if you guys read the report that came out earlier today, that apparently the reason why Kevin Durant is demanding a trade, A, because the Warriors won a championship without him, and B, because of the criticism that he's getting, which is a lame excuse for why you would ask for a trade out of Brooklyn when I figured, you're just sick and tired of the coaching that's been horrendous this year, Kyrie Irving stuff that's been going on, the James Harden saga, what Ben Simmons has been doing, the injuries, Sean Marks are helping you out, the vaccine stuff, the owner Joe Tsai. It's that's what you figure, but he's too busy letting the media get to him. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're absolutely right. But I just feel bad for Steve Nash because Steve Nash is trying to make this work. All that stuff that you named, that's not really Steve Nash's fault. That's really the front office for real.
He's not ready to be a head coach, though. He's not ready. He's still got a lot to learn.
We said that about Steve Kerr. We said the same thing about Steve Kerr.
But Steve Kerr was brought in with a very great team, with a great team already.
Yeah, but you see what he did But you see what he did in the years after. Yeah, of course, Mark Jackson he drafted Draymond Green, he drafted Steph, he drafted Clay. But look what he did after that. He drafted Jordan Poole, he drafted Gary Payton Jr. He drafted Wiseman. He got Kevin Looney. And then he brought back Andre Iguodala. You got to see what he does as a coach. Even though
he traded for Wiggins too.
And traded for Wiggins. So you got to think about it too. Like Steve Nash, what he's in his second, third year as the Nets coach, it's going to take some time. I just feel like Kevin Durant is just being unloyal because you signed a max contract to be with the Nets, and then all this stuff is going on. You trade for Ben Simmons. You was happy about Ben Simmons being with the Nets, and then Kyrie Irving, you defended him so many times. You try to keep him to stay there, and then all of a sudden you come out and request a trade. No, that's whack, bro. That's whack.
Because he probably realized at this point, with everything going on, that he didn't think he could win a championship here, and he's 34 years old, so he wants to go to a situation, probably in either Phoenix or Miami, and he probably thinks he has a better shot at winning a championship there.
I don't blame Kevin Durant for asking for a trade. Kyrie not even on the court half of the time.
Kevin Durant's missed a lot of games too, though. He's missed a lot of games as well.
But I know he missed a lot of games.
That's true.
Kyrie did some damage to the organization as well. Kyrie missed 123 games. That's why James Harden left. That's why James Harden actually left. Kyrie couldn't play on the floor, and Kevin Durant got hurt that year. I believe he got hurt last year. And James Harden just could not take on that number one role again.
But let's be honest. Look at the track record for Kevin Durant, though. He couldn't get it done with another superstar in Russell Westbrook. He couldn't get it done with. Imagine he had Harden in OKC coming off the bench with Westbrook, and they still couldn't get it done. Now,
but that was the Thunder. That was the Thunder. I fought the management for that, for letting James Harden walk. I fought the management for letting him walk.
But I'm just saying, Kevin Durant couldn't get it done with two other future superstar players in James Harden and Russell Westbrook. So he ended up you was up 3-1 against the Warriors, lost, and you end up joining the team that you beat. So that's definitely one slap in the face right there. That's definitely a slap in the face. Number two, you win 2 championships with the Warriors. The Warriors didn't need you. They was going to win 2 championships regardless if they didn't have you. Let's just keep it real. The Warriors are just built. They just built differently. So other than that, he go to the Warriors. Then you go to the Nets. You ask for James Harden and Kyrie Irving, and they both bail on you. They both bail on you. What is it? What is it? It's about Kevin Durant. I'm like lost. Like everywhere he go, somebody just want to leave or don't want to play with him. I'm lost here.
I got a question for both you guys, and this is coming from a Nets fan, and this is probably to me what really caused the downfall of this team. Do you think that the Nets should have not traded all those good young assets and first-round picks for James Harden, because I thought their team was already good enough with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and then you had Karis LeVert, you had Jared Allen, you had Joe Harris, you had Spencer Dinwiddie. You had a good team already put together with depth. I think that's where the Nets started to go downhill when they made that trade for Harden.
Highway robbery.
James Harden was so interested in getting the hell out of Houston.
Yeah.
And his first option wasn't even Brooklyn. He wanted to go to Philadelphia with Daryl Morey the whole time. And I thought the organization, I don't think Kevin Durant did not want James Harden. Harden said, since I couldn't get to Philadelphia, let me go to Brooklyn. Let me go to Brooklyn. I can't get to Philadelphia. Because remember, I'm going to go back to this. The Rockets and the Sixers had a deal on the table. Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris was going to be a Rocket. Raphael Stone turned it down because he didn't want to send them to the Rockets. He didn't want to send them to the Philadelphia 76ers. He just didn't want to do that deal. So
they didn't want to give up Ben Simmons yet. They didn't want to give up Ben Simmons.
Yeah, but like the Rockets actually.
No, we were giving up a Ben Simmons around that time. We were. And we was giving up a Ben. We was the last 2 years with Ben Simmons. We was ready for him to go.
Yeah, but because Ben Simmons wanted out, but Raphael Stone turned it down. He didn't want the deal.
Yep, the James Harden situation is just like the Ben Simmons situation. That's because Ben Simmons wanted out of Philadelphia, and so did James Harden. And it just, for some reason, I don't know how. Yeah, Raphael Stone said he didn't want the deal.
Raphael Stone turned the deal down.
But you know what? I don't blame him because Ben Simmons was not going to bring nothing to the table.
I agree.
Ben Simmons was not going to bring nothing to the table.
Yep. And Daryl Morey didn't want to give up the picks. Daryl Morey didn't want to give up the picks, and Ben Simmons. So Raphael Stone held on to James Harden until we get the right deal. And Brooklyn jumped in the door, gave up the picks, and I was very much happy that they did it. And James Harden, for what he did, he started being dismantled to the team. He didn't play with a lot of effort. And when James Harden quit, he quits. And you will know when James Harden quits.
Oh, he quit. Absolutely.
Brooklyn against Detroit. He let the motherfucker he lets the motherfucking ball roll on the ground and didn't even attempt to get it. Didn't even attempt to pick it up. And the Detroit Pistons guy gets the ball, lays it up and in. He showed that type of effort in Houston as well. So he has a lot of intentions on quitting when things don't go as right. But I like to thank, whoever the GM for, Jeff. Thank you so much for the future that we got from you.
Oh, Sean Marks. Sean Marks says you're welcome.
Thank you so much for the future. Now, this will be the second team that holds Brooklyn future right here. We got Brooklyn.
Yeah, this is we're the only franchise. We're the only franchise to not only muff up one big three, but two. Because remember, we did it back with the Celtics, and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown would not be Celtics right now. They'd be Nets if we did not make that trade years ago and gave up all those first-round picks for broken down Paul Pierce, for Kevin Garnett, who was done at that point, Jason Terry, who was nowhere near the same shooter that he was before, and all those first-round picks. We blew it that time, and this one is a million times worse because you had Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden on your same team for 1.5 years, and you could not even get past the second round or make one single Eastern Conference Finals appearance. This is going to go down as easily the biggest fail in not only NBA history, but maybe in sports history, that the Nets will have 3 of the top players in the NBA and could not even sniff the Eastern Conference Finals. And I'm ashamed as a Nets fan to even say that. I'm absolutely ashamed.
Yo, Spotlight. Can I read this right quick to everybody in the chat before you go? Let me read this right quick. So the Rockets, the 2023 first round pick, swap rights, 2024 first round pick, 2025 first round pick, 2026 first round pick, 2027 first round pick. And you know what's the biggest deal, Jeff? You know what's the biggest thing? All of those are unprotected. All of those are protected.
Yep. That's all they went for broke. That is why the Nets are in the position they are. They had a team and they decided to get greedy. Sean Marks got greedy. He got greedy and he decided, you know what? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to get that third superstar, and I'm going to try to see if I can win a championship. And I think 2020, 2021 was that year. And then when Harden got hurt with the hamstring and then Irving got hurt when he got undercut by Giannis, that was it. That was our chance. And then Kevin Durant was a toenail offsetting the Nets to the Eastern Conference Finals. That was our chance. Then this past year was a mess. And then we all know what's happening right now. I mean, I praise the Knicks. I think are doing it more right now than the Nets are. The Sixers, I think they made a terrific move by bringing in PJ Tucker. I think just bringing in that guy with what he's going to do for the inside of that Sixers team, and you can still find a way to keep Thibault as maybe a sixth man. I mean, and you got Maxey still, and if Harden can even just show any type of efforts, I think the Sixers got themselves a nice team. The Hawks have themselves a nice team now. We're getting DeJounte Murray, another legit offensive player and a great defensive player to team up with Trae Young. And if they somehow keep John Collins, I know they traded Herter today to the Kings, but they got themselves a nice team. Brogdon going to the Celtics. Celtics just got better. They somehow got better by just bringing in Brogdon. You could move Marcus Smart into the shooting guard position. You still got Brown. You still got Horford. You still got Tatum. You got Robert Williams coming back healthy. Grant Williams, Pritchard. They got themselves a nice team. The Bucks, they just brought back their team pretty much from what they had last year, and I think they even got somebody else to make them even better. So, I mean, the Nets are going to become irrelevant now. And the Rockets, congratulations. You absolutely just fleeced my GM, and y'all deserve it because you punked out my GM for how bad it is.
Hey, Troy, you said how the Rockets get lucky up on those draft picks. Hey, Brooklyn wanted Harden. They wanted him so bad, so we just traded him. Harden tried to get to Philadelphia. That's what his first option for was telling Jeff. That means Harden never wanted to play in Brooklyn anyway. He wanted to go to Brooklyn anyway.
He wanted to go with this. He wanted to be a Sixer with Daryl Morey.
Yes,
Daryl Morey
that told you he did not want to play with Brooklyn anyway. And he said it in a press conference the day that a couple of days after he got traded, he basically said it. He said, this was my first option anyway, which means he never wanted to play for Brooklyn. And he couldn't take on the role of being a number one anymore. Because you know what Harden did, what he did in Houston, and I fought the organization for this too. Harden will go out all the times. Every time the Rockets will be either at home or on the road trip, Harden will come a day late. But you know what? When you're playing so well, nobody give a damn what you do when you're playing good like Harden was at that time in Houston. Nobody cared. He would go out late with Lil Baby. He would go out late with Dirk. He would go out to strip clubs at night and all the time. He would stay up. He would not literally sleep. He would come to practice the next day, the next morning. He would show up on a road trip to games. But guess what? When you're winning, you don't hear too much about that. You won't give a damn what he do because he's in Houston. He's dropping 40, 39, 50 points on everybody. You don't give a damn what he do. And he acts out of Houston. The media literally asked him after we literally saw he was at Lil Baby party, giving out honey buns, giving them money at a strip club. You know what the media asked him? What were you doing? What were you doing in Vegas? You know what James Harden said? Working with my personal trainers. You lied to the media. And after we just seen you was in a strip club and you was with a Lil Baby party, and you're going to say you was out with your personal trainers. Well, it didn't look like it because you was in Vegas partying. Then he throws balls at Jayshawn Tate, being a dick in the locker room, as he always do, and doesn't give a lack of effort. And we'll put the nail on the coffin. We get destroyed by the Lakers. You're going to say we just ain't good enough. We're going to say you just going to say you just ain't good enough. You damn right we ain't good enough because his fat ass want to sit up there, go to parties, drink, smoke, do what he want to do. And now the organization come out and say he's not going to play another game, which is I was glad when they said that. And
I was happy when we traded him too. I was pleased when we traded James Harden. I did not want him in the first. I did not want this guy in the first place. I loved Karis LeVert. I loved Jared Allen, Spencer Dinwiddie. These guys were my players. We drafted them, we brought them in, and we traded them all away with first-round picks for a guy who was an underachieving quitter who never could get the job done when the game is on the line in the playoffs. That's what we did, and he did not even last a season and a half. He only lasted a season and a half as a net before he quit on us. So, it's exactly what he did. What he did with you guys in Houston, exactly what he did with us in Brooklyn, and it's going to happen to Philadelphia. The second that controversy starts coming, you're going to hear the same thing about him. Him and Embiid are going to clash. him and PJ Tucker are going to clash. You know what's going to happen over there in Philly too, because this guy's not going to change. Kyrie Irving didn't change everywhere he went. Kevin Durant still, has those issues where he gives up too easily and he wants to get traded because he knows he can't win. James Harden is not changing either. He's going to be the same thing in Philadelphia, and when it gets too much for him, and if Embiid ever gets hurt, which Embiid has had injury problems, if James Harden has to carry that team, he's not going to get the job done. He can't do it. He's over the hill now. His skill set's not the same as it was when he was in his prime. So, I mean, it's still hitting me at a point, and I never wanted this guy in the first place. I did not want James Harden. I was very aggravated when we traded for him. I felt a little bit better because he started to show a little bit in his first year that maybe he was turning the corner because he was playing well, helping out his teammates and everything. But this past year, when Durant wasn't there when he was hurt, and Irving was serving that issue with the vaccine mandate, and Harden had to carry the team like you said he had to do in Houston,
Yep.
I was done. This guy just clearly quit on the team. And when he was just not making effort to go after the ball, when he was dribbling the ball, lackluster, playing no defense, I'm like, get this guy off the team. I would rather take a Ben Simmons we don't know where he is mentally, but at least he has more upside at this point at 25 years old if you can get him back mentally where he can be. I'd rather take a chance on him than take a chance on a 31, 32-year-old James Harden who was nowhere near the same skill set of player he was before. Selfish player, quits on his teams as well, and I just don't want to – it's Philly's problem right now.
Yep. I mean,
it does, because the Lakers are in the same position as us.
Yep.
They're in the same exact position as us right now. I know LeBron James is great too, but LeBron James, I mean, he's got his own headaches to deal with over there in L.A. with Anthony Davis, who can't ever stay healthy, and Russell Westbrook is too busy shooting up threes every 2 seconds and playing no defense. The Nets and the Lakers are the same team.
You said Harden pads his stats, make his teammate. Nah, I disagree
He's
with
right.
that. Not in Houston. Not in Houston.
Not in Houston. At the end of his Houston career, he was.
He didn't. I believe Harden was a great passer in Houston. It was just Mike D'Antoni's offense. Mike D'Antoni is offense. Mike D'Antoni is a genius on offense, but the team, he care less about defense. I don't believe he padded his stats really in Houston. I believe he did make everybody better. Make everybody better.
So what we talking about? I'm sorry, I had to go on mute. I'm at work. So.
Talking about James Harden.
In Houston, Harden averaged 11 assists, being a willing passer, actually, in Houston. So I can't use that as a stat pattern like Russell Westbrook do. I can't use that as a stat pattern to make his team.
One thing I can say about James Harden right now, I think one thing I can say about him right now, I think he's learning that he's not going to get a max deal. He's learning that Father Time is really around the corner for him. And now I see the fact that if the Sixers could get a deal with James Harden, and it's not a crazy deal that's going to break the bank, James Harden is learning something. One thing I can say about James Harden, when he's a facilitator on the floor, I think he's one of the best facilitators in the league when it comes to facilitating the basketball. But what kills me about James Harden is defense. He never plays defense.
He don't get that effort.
People say he has no effort on the defensive end of the court.
He's never gave the effort on the defensive end. But when I saw in this playoffs, James Harden needs to realize you don't have the lift on a jump shot anymore to step back, do in between the legs, step back three. You don't have that anymore. So I feel like he started to be more a facilitator than he was a scorer. But there's been times where he hinders the team. So he's going to have to figure out how to balance the way he plays on the offensive side of the ball. And I feel like Doc Rivers needs to get on his ass and have him play some defense. Seriously.
And he also has to know too that he doesn't have to do it all on the offensive end.
Exactly.
Even in Philly, you got Embiid, who is a guy that can score 20, 30 points any given night, and we already saw what Maxey can do for the Sixers. A good young budding star over there as well that can put up the points. Harden doesn't have to carry that team offensively. When there's certain nights he can, but he can, like you just said, facilitate the ball to his teammates and help make them better. Because you have other guys on that team that can score. I mean, Maxey is a good player on offense. Embiid is arguably the best center in the NBA. As much as I don't like him because I think he's an ass, but I think he's a great player. I can't deny his talent. So, I mean, Harden doesn't have to do it all on the offensive end. He's got to learn that it's not – you don't have to chuck up shots every 2 seconds when you think like the shot is there. It's much better sometimes to facilitate the ball to your teammates when they have a better shot available, and you know you have Embiid who can just body up the defender down low and get you those easy buckets down low easily instead of just chucking up threes what Harden has done before. So, yeah, I agree with that. And he needs to get better on the defensive end.
We got a little bit of news right here. Derrick Jones Jr. signs a 2-year deal, $6 million with Chicago. And the Dallas Mavericks is expected to make a run at Colin Sexton. That's the news right there.
That'd be a great move. That's a good move.
Yep.
But would they play Sexton at point guard and move Luka to shooting guard?
I think see, it's kind of tough because Colin Sexton does need the ball in his hand to actually be.
But I think Colin Sexton, he does need the ball in his hand. But now you have a Luka over there where you don't need the ball in your hand. He needed the ball in his hand because he was in Cleveland. He needed the ball in his hand. Now you have other scorers over there in Dallas. He really don't need, if he could. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I've been saying this about the league a long time. If you learn how to move without the basketball, you'll get more opportunities. Don't come down and just sit at the three-point line and expect the ball to be passed to you at the three-point line. If Colin Sexton can move without the basketball while Luka has the ball in his hand, watch Luka's going to give him the ball because Luka can pass the basketball.
That's a great point.
But we got to see that. We got to see that though because he's not used to playing without the ball. So we don't know that.
But I think he will. I think he will just because Jason Kidd is going to tell him to move without the basketball. Jason Kidd is a former point guard. He's going to tell him to move without the basketball. Basically,
I'm gonna put this like, and Jake, you said Colin Sexton will be Monte Ellis 2.0. No, he would not be because Colin Sexton can shoot way better than Monte Ellis could ever shoot. He can shoot better than Monte Ellis. But one thing about it, when Luka going through moments, Colin Sexton, you could get the ball to Colin Sexton. Colin Sexton can go score the ball. So it's going to be a combination. Like the ball handling duties is going to be a combination of him and Luka. Because they both need the ball in there. They both actually need the ball in their hands to be effective.
Imagine when they get Tim Hardaway back. Imagine when Dallas get Tim Hardaway back.
He still got Dinwiddie as well.
Exactly.
Luka's going to be more on the ball handling duties though than Colin Sexton. But you can get the ball to Colin Sexton if you want to rest Luka. And Colin Sexton will be good on that second team too with Dinwiddie and Tim Hardaway Jr. So they got.
Oh no, he's starting. I think he's going to be starting in the back.
But like when you need Luka to get some rest,
when Luka goes
good point. Yeah, you're right.
Come in. Right.
I'm surprised the Cavs aren't making more of an effort to try to bring him back. You know, trying to make more effort.
They didn't want him back because see the thing was going around. They didn't like how he played because guess what? Darius Garland more of a facilitating guard. Colin Sexton, a guard that's more dominant with the basketball. As a guard that's more dominant.
I think Jason Kidd is going to change that though. I think Jason Kidd is a good coach to a point that he's going to tell like Colin Sexton that we love the fact that you're a scorer, but you're going to have to facilitate if you want to be on his basketball team. And I think Kidd is the type of coach that you could learn from.
Hey, boy, that East going to be fun to watch. Malcolm Brogdon is not only a true point guard, he's a 20-point per game scorer, too. Malcolm Brogdon is a 20-point per game.
As a Sixers fan, I'm nervous.
Celtics, to me, are the best team in the Eastern Conference right now. I think they got better. I like that team is just pound for pound, just a phenomenal team.
That dude is a beast, bro.
And Dante, I've been saying that to you. I said, if Boston
we all knew that,
get them a point guard, if Boston gets a point guard, they could go right back to the finals next year.
Would you put Smart as the shooting guard, or would you make him the sixth man? What would you and Marcus Smart?
No, I think you need to keep him as shooting guard. I think you just.
That's what. Yeah, I would do that too. I agree.
On the bench, I don't think you put him on.
It's just something about Marcus Smart's game that is okay, but I don't know. It's just something.
But he's not a ball handler.
He's not a natural ball handler. Yeah,
he's not a natural ball handler, right? He's not a natural ball handler, though. He's not.
The dude is such a great defensive player, and he's so right. He's one of those guys that just gets under your skin. That he'll cause you to make those bad passes, those turnovers. He's that type of player. He's like a PJ Tucker or Kyle Lowry. He gets under your skin and he forces you to make the bad play. And you all want a player like Marcus Smart because he was named Defensive Player of the Year for a reason.
I don't mind that we get the Sixers got PJ Tucker for 3 years, but the contract I
Yep.
hate.
Yep.
I don't think
It is a lot of money. Yeah,
he's not a $33.2 million man. He's
he's not.
No, he's not. I've been saying Darren Moore gonna do that. I know Darren Moore. He's gonna do that.
Because he's probably thinking that Tucker's one of those last pieces to help put that team over the edge to compete for a championship.
He's a great defender, and he can shoot, but
you add Daniel House to the bench, that bench
is already better than last year.
It's already better with bringing Daniel House in. I do like Daniel House, but thank God, let him be the sixth man come up the bench, not Court Moss, please. Court Moss stinks.
Go ahead, John.
That team will go the Sixers. I think will go as far as Tyrese Maxey develops into a star in this league. If he can become that third star for the Sixers behind Harden and behind Embiid, then that Sixers team could be a legit championship team. If he can show what he did. Maxey's that guy.
I hate Sixers fans. I hate the community when it comes to Sixers YouTubers. Oh, we're all waiting on Kevin Durant. Oh, so then y'all gonna be mad when y'all trade for Kevin Durant and Maxey is going to be a Brooklyn Net. Telling you right now, don't.
Oh yeah. The
Sixers fans are stupid. They want Kevin Durant. They think the Sixers fans think that they're gonna get Kevin Durant and not lose anything in return. Look what just happened with Ben Simmons. We lost a shooter in Seth Curry, and we lost a very improved Andre Drummond.
And that killed your team. I'm just being honest.
Real
quick, that killed your I think you guys had something, but when you lost Simmons and you lost when you lost Seth Curry, that killed your team in terms of your outside shooting because he was your most consistent three-point shooter. Because Danny Green couldn't get the job done. And when you lost Seth Curry, it really hurt your team big time. And Drummond was that guy that was your consistent backup. And when Embiid got hurt, you had nothing down low. It killed your team.
No, the radio was in there. Oh, Edgar has it. That's right.
But guess what, Jeff? You want to know something?
What's that?
The New York Knicks got better. They re-signed back Mitchell Robinson.
I think they've done a solid job. Yeah, that was a good move bringing back Mitchell Robinson, and then getting Brunson is a solid move too. The Knicks are not making spectacular moves. They're making good moves with good young talent and trying to keep that core together. I think Mitchell Robinson is one of the better young centers in the NBA. He just needs to stay healthy and develop a little bit more of an offensive game.
I like what the Knicks are doing in free agency, but I hated the way they drafted. I hated what the hell were they doing in the draft.
Yep.
You had it. Remind you still could have kept Mitchell Robinson, still got Jalen Brunson, and then you had a top 11 pick. Are you serious? Like, what are you doing here?
I think they were going superstar hunting, and they were trying to package up some of those picks to get Dejounte Murray. And then when the Hawks swooped in and got him, it pretty much messed up their plan unless they're going to go after Donovan Mitchell next. So that's what I think they're doing. They're trying to package up as much first-round picks as possible to make a run at getting another superstar to go with Jalen Brunson. And when DeJounte Murray ended up going to the Hawks, it pretty much threw off their plan. Unless I think they're still going to try to make a run at him at Mitchell.
So where does it leave Julius Randle and RJ Barrett?
I think Barrett's
I think they're going to trade him.
Randall's going to be traded, but Barrett's still part of their core. He's going to be part of that young core.
He's still going to be. He was the best.
It's going to be. It's going to be Barrett, Robinson, and quickly, Toppin, and Brunson as their young core that they're going to try to build around. And I actually like with the Nets. I liked a couple of the moves the Nets did. I like Nicholas Claxton. He's a good young shot blocking center. He just needs to improve on his offensive game, much like Robinson, and improve on his foul shooting. But he showcased a very good ability to block some shots down low. He just needs to develop the rest of his game. And Patty Mills is a solid backup point guard. He just can't be asked to take on all those minutes like he was asked to during the season. So, the Nets made a couple of underrated moves. Obviously it's dominated by what's going on with Durant and Irving, but they made a couple of nice signings, even though they did lose Bruce Brown, who I thought was a big loss. I think he was a good, solid starter/role player for that team. So
y'all brought back Patty Mills too, you know?
I like Patty Mills. I thought the Claxton move is what I was most happy because I really like him as a player, and I think it helps out for when we lost Jared Allen a couple of years ago. Claxton's sort of a similar play to him, just not as developed offensively yet as Jared Allen was, and even free throw shooting. So I like that move even more.
The
Yeah,
Pistons gonna be
it's going to be. You
young
notice a lot of players are getting traded from the West to the East. You peep that, right?
Yes, absolutely.
The Pistons gonna be a good young team, man. They signed Kevin Knox to a 2-year deal, $6 million. The Pistons gonna be a good team, man, in a couple more years.
I
Who,
agree.
Detroit?
And Jaden Ivan. You got Jalen Duren too, two top lottery picks in the draft.
Just imagine they was able to keep
Kevin
Jeremy
Knox.
Grant. Or just imagine they were able to keep Jeremy Grant or
Yeah.
Kimball Walker to be like that veteran presence for that young core. Just
And there
imagine.
were rumors they were going after DeAndre Ayton for a while too. They were trying to maybe bring him in.
Yeah.
I mean, see if they could see if Kate Cunningham could take that next step and become one of the best young players in the NBA going to his second season.
That's a fact. Yeah.
They do. I like that young team.
JaVale McGee signs with Dallas. It's a Dallas Mavericks. That's 3 years.
That is a big move.
That's a good move. That's a good move.
Because he's a heck of a backup center. I can see that.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the best backup centers in the league.
Yep, he's a very underrated backup center. Yep, he's very.
Yeah.
He's very
I think
underrated.
Dallas is going to become a problem. They just need to add a little bit more offensive help to Luka because Dinwiddie is a good player, but I don't know if he's that consistent second scorer. Finney Smith is a good solid forward. Hardaway is when he's healthy, he can score. He's inconsistent at times, but he could score 20, 30 points on any given night. They just need that consistent second scorer to help alleviate the offensive load on Luka Doncic. And I think Sexton, if they could find a way to bring in a Colin Sexton, that'd be a perfect guy that could be able to come in and help out scoring on that offense. And I think Dallas could be a scary team going into next year. I really believe they could be. They made it to the Western Conference Finals already, so they already showed they could be a good team.
In Boston added Danilo Gallinari as well to their squad.
Yeah, it's another great move.
God.
They're getting stronger.
He chose them. He chose Boston.
So Gallinari is going to Boston.
Yep.
They got stronger on that team.
I'm sorry to say, Sixers are done.
Boston is the best team going into the season in the Eastern Conference. They are the best team. Getting Brogdon and getting now you're getting Gallinari too. I mean, that team, you can even tell once they started getting everybody back during the middle of last season, and when they made that trade for White and they brought back Horford, that team just clicked. They clicked, and you could when the playoffs began, I even said on my podcast I did with my buddies on Premium Takes, I'm like, this Boston team, watch out for them because they are clicking. They are turning it up on the defensive end. Brown and Tatum are taking it to the next level as young superstars. Smart is playing an all-around fantastic defensive game. And Horford, I mean, that team was just clicking at that time. And it's no coincidence that they were able to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals because they just had everything you wanted in a team. The homegrown young talent. Robert Williams was becoming a defensive stopper at center. Grant Williams, Peyton Pritchard. These guys were making big-time shots. Derek White. They just became a complete team. And now I think they realized they were just missing one or two more pieces to that bench or starting lineup. Now you add a Malcolm Brogdon as your point guard going into the season, and you bring in a Danilo Gallinari that could be one of those big-time bench scorers, defensive players on the forward position for your bench. Now you just have yourself a more complete team that if they can stay healthy, there's no reason why this team can't go back to the NBA Finals going into 2020-2023. No reason.
No, there's no reason, man. This team is stacked, bro. This team is stacked as hell, dude.
They're gonna be good.
They making some great moves. Man. Hey man, sorry about holding that future of Brooklyn again, man. So I just not realized that when I woke up this morning, I heard that from my boy Max, and he texts the picks that we got.
Yeah,
he texts the picks that we got, and I just realized they from Brooklyn because the James Harden deal. They from Brooklyn because of James Harden deal. Because remember, we could have got it was a 3-team trade. We could have got Jared Allen up out of the deal, but we chose draft picks as well. But I mean. Again, man, shout out to James Harden, man. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna say thank you to my boy Jeff. Jeff is my boy, but shout out to James Harden, man, for doing what he did. Shout out to him.
Shout out to James Harden. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for helping destroy my franchise. I really appreciate it. You're the best, bro. You're the best. Thank you, man. No, there's nothing more I could say about my team. I mean, I just, the thing is, right now too, Kevin Durant can demand a trade, but the Nets can pretty much call his bluff and be like, well, you signed a 4-year extension. We're not trading you. They could say, we are not trading you. And we're just going to go about our business, and we're going to try to bring in some other pieces, and maybe they could try to find a way to change Kevin Durant's mind and be like, you know what, we're going to give it one last shot with you here. We're going to bring Kyrie back. We got Ben Simmons coming back healthy. We're just going to give it one last go, see what we can do with this Nets team. And if we can't get it done, and there's still more issues going on in 2022, 2023, we're done. We're gonna blow it up. So they could essentially call KD's bluff and might deal with a disgruntled star, but they could say, KD, we're not trading you. We're gonna try to smooth things over. We're gonna bring in some more pieces, and we're gonna try to make one more run at it this season upcoming. And if it doesn't work out, we'll grant your wish. We'll trade you where you want to go in 2022, 2023 offseason, and we'll go from there. Do I think KD's probably still going to get traded? Yes, because I think that the Nets are just done. There's even a report that came out this morning that Joe Tsai pretty much just said, like, I'm done dealing with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving's BS. I've had enough. I want to just get them out of here. Now, I don't know if, like, that's just some newspaper printing out just some article to stir some noise and, like, stir the pot. But that's what I hope, that maybe cooler heads will prevail. This is just a hope from a Nets fan. I mean, at this point, I think he's gone, but maybe they could somehow smooth things over and just try to just go about business and see if they could, just tell Durant that they're going to do everything they can to try to make this team a competitive team somehow in 2022, 2023. But I'm not holding out my hopes. I'm pretty much going into the season as Ben Simmons is my best player right now, and then just get whatever young players you can, whatever young stars you can going into this upcoming season. And just, seeing if maybe you can have at least a competitive team that can maybe compete for a playoff spot. But who knows? Yeah. There's still a lot of time for things to change, but we'll see. It's a waiting game right now.
And if you're Brooklyn, just do like Raphael Stone. You don't have to rush to trade him. Just get the best deal as possible. Remember, Kevin Durant don't have the leverage. You still got him for 4 years, so you can trade him where you want to send him. Whatever deal that's best for the team that's going to help your organization now in the future, you can trade them to whatever you want to. I know his wish list is Phoenix
and Miami too.
But if whatever team gets in there and offer you the best deal, that's where you trade them to, regardless if they're a playoff team or not. Remember, they got leverage, so they can hold on to him. I don't give a damn if it's to the rest. I don't give a damn if it's to the season. If he got to beat it in Brooklyn throughout the season start, I wouldn't care if he plays. I would just hold on to him.
And Durant's going to play too. He's going to play too.
Yeah, and and Raphael Stone did that to James Harden. You can be disgruntled all you want. We're not trading you until we get the best deal as possible. And just give credit to Raphael Stone from doing that, holding on to him. We didn't care how disgruntled he got. He noticed they have the leverage. You were absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Dante.
And at the same time, too, Kyrie Irving's got no leverage at all either because nobody wants him. Nobody wants to deal with Kyrie Irving and his headache. The only team that wants him is the Lakers, and it's because LeBron James knows he's got his own headache with Russell Westbrook, and he knows that Kyrie Irving right now at this point in their careers is probably a better player than Russell Westbrook is. So LeBron James is just probably saying, I'll take on the headache of Kyrie Irving because he might be my best chance right now at having one more shot at winning a championship unless I get the hell out of Los Angeles. So that's the only reason. That's the only team that has any interest in Kyrie Irving. So he's got no leverage too. But I agree with you. The Nets, if they want to play this game where they're just going to be like Kevin Durant, you can complain all you want. We are not trading you. We're not bowing down to your demands. And if you want to go to Phoenix, you're giving us Devin Booker. You're giving us Cam Johnson. You're giving us a bunch of these young players. You're giving us DeAndre Ayton at a sign and trade. And same thing with Miami. You want Kevin Durant, Miami? You're giving us Ben Adebayo. You're giving us Tyler Hero. You're giving us these picks. You're not getting Kevin Durant unless you're giving us your young players. Play it simple. And if they don't do that, guess what, Kevin Durant? We're either sending you to somewhere where we can get you all those young players. We're sending you somewhere that you might not want to go, but too bad. We got the leverage. You signed that 4-year extension. So you're either going to stick it here with Brooklyn, or you're going to go somewhere where we are going to get the best deal for you. I agree 100%. The Nets should do the same exact thing like the Rockets did when James Harden was making a piss out of it before. But I don't think the Nets are going to do that. I think they're just going to be like, you know what? We're done. We're just going to wash our hands clean, get this guy out of here, get Kyrie Irving out of here, and see what kind of young players and picks we can get in return.
But you also don't want to cheat yourself out. You want to just kind of make sure you get the best deal you could actually get. You want to get a goddamn U-Haul for Kevin Durant. You want to get if you can get a U-Haul for both of them, you might not get that much for Kyrie. You can get a couple first-round picks for Kyrie, but you going to get the U-Haul for Kevin Durant because he's a top 2 star in the game. To me, he's a top 2 star as far as talent-wise. He's a top 2 stud in the game. Yes, he's going to have – he got the issues. He got the issues when he goes places and win championships, but his game is second to none. His game is just actually is real great. But they're gonna get a U-Haul for him. But if I'm Sean Marks, I'm not rushing to get him out of there. I'm not gonna rush to get him out there. He can whine and say, hey, he can say, I don't want to play another game. That's fine. We're not gonna be in a rush just to move. We're just gonna get the best deal as possible, regardless of what team comes. Again, it's not like he got a no trade clause. If he has a no trade clause, then he got leverage. He got a little leverage of where he wants to go to. But again, you still pretty much got to get used to. Out of those teams he wants to go to, when it's a no trade clause, out of one of those teams he wants to go to, they got to have the right deal for him. They got to have the right deal for him.
Absolutely, 100%. I agree with you 100% on that. They have to have the right deal when it comes to all this. And this is only making Kevin Durant look bad. It's hurting his legacy with going out there and doing this and pretty much admitting, I can't get the job done. I'm jealous because the Warriors, the team that I left, was able to win a championship when they got Klay Thompson back, and they were able to trade for Andrew Wiggins and still find a way to pull it out and win that championship without me there. And I take my talents over to Brooklyn, and I can't get the job done with Kyrie Irving and James Harden over there with me. And I just can't take the criticism. He's just acting mentally soft. And that's not going to fly very well. It's not a good look. As much as Kevin Durant gets praised as being one of the greatest NBA players in the last 10, 15 years, which he is on the court, he is so mentally soft as a player. And he gets triggered way too easily by what the media says, by what us content creators say, by what the people on Twitter say. Don't care what we have to say. Yep. And you just pretty much told the entire Brooklyn fan base, the people that were buying your jerseys, buying your merchandise, you just put the middle finger at them and you just pretty much said, F you to all you guys. I give up. I quit because I can't handle the criticism that's coming my way right now with everything going up with the media and everybody getting on my case because I can't get the job done. And I'm jealous because the Warriors won a championship without me there. It's a bad look. And as a Nets fan, it hurts because I rooted for this guy. I didn't bash him at all. I think he was one of the few guys that actually gave effort all the time when he was getting all these other issues going on with the Nets. And it just hurts that he's just given up on me, a longtime Nets fan that has lived and died with this team. And it just sucks that Kevin Durant's pretty much like leaving me high and dry. It hurts. It hurts me. But there's nothing you can do about it. It's a superstar league, period. And if Kevin Durant wants to trade, he wants to get out of here, he's going to get it because superstars run this league now, period. And LeBron James can do the same thing with the Lakers if he wants.
Yep. We got some breaking news. Kevon Looney re-signs back with the Warriors 3-year deal worth $25.5 million. The Warriors re-signed him right back as well. So that's the deal. That's breaking news right there. Kevon Looney stays with the Golden State Warriors. Now he's a 2-time NBA champion. They end up bringing Kevon Looney back. They're going to bring back Jordan Poole. I'll say they let Otto Porter walk. They let Toscano walk. They let Gary Payton Jr. walk. Now they're going to re-sign back Jordan Poole. They're going to re-sign back Jordan Poole and everybody else. They're going to re-sign.
Is Wiggins a free agent?
Is Wiggins a free agent? I think for another year.
Yeah, because I know they were thinking about maybe working on an extension with Wiggins. I know they were talking about in the end of the season.
Yep. He said,
I mean, do they have the money to bring all these guys back? That's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I think they got some money because they let them walk. They let 2 people walk. They let 3 people walk. They let Otto Porter go. They let Otto Porter walk. They let Gary Payton walk. They let Toscano walk. So I think I think they're gonna have enough to. Joe Lacob is gonna find a way, and Bob Myers is gonna find a way to get some.
Yeah, I mean, like besides Otto Porter, the other guys weren't really going to cost a lot. Maybe Gary Payton Jr. because he's a good defender, but I mean, it was really Otto Porter that was going to cost them something. It's just, will they be able to afford a good extension for an Andrew Wiggins who pretty much played himself back to being an all-star player again, and Jordan Poole, who's so key to that second unit for the Golden State Warriors. So I mean, are they going to be able? Those are the 2 players right there they got to think about. Is Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins long term, because you're going to still have Curry, you still got Thompson, you still got Green. Now you brought back Looney, so you got those 4 guys still there. You got a couple of players that are going to be coming up. You got Moody, you got Kuminga, who's probably going to become your backup center now. It's just, what are you going to do with Jordan Poole and what are you going to do with Andrew Wiggins in terms of locking them up long term? And maybe they can't pull it off. They can pull some strings. Maybe those older guys like Green, Thompson, and Curry will rework their contracts. Maybe even try to help the team out to try to allow the Warriors to be able to bring back those key pieces so they can make another run at it. But that's a great move, bringing back Looney, because Looney was a good player during the playoffs and provided that low post presence, shot blocking, and rebounding for that team. So that was a good move.
Yep. So that was a really awesome move right there. Really awesome move. Gary Payton Jr. went to Portland on a 3-year deal, $28 million. John Wall signs a 2-year deal with the Clippers. If you guys don't know that, that's a great move. Great
move. He can stay healthy. Great move.
Yeah, if he can stay healthy, he still can drop 20 points per game. He showed that actually in Houston. He can still drop 20 points per game. Wiseman will be back with the Warriors. He would be back in the rotation. Wiseman is one of their better big men, even though he doesn't show ability to stay healthy a lot. He's one of their top big men, and he's one of their top big men. So he hasn't
played in 2 years though, right? Hasn't he not played in about 2-3 years because he's been dealing with a knee injury?
I will say 1 year and a half he has not played. I will say 1 year and a half. But he definitely didn't play this year. He definitely did not play this year. So
Question is, can you trust him? That's the problem.
That's the only problem. Can he stay on the court? Still on the court. So I say, man, right now, if I have to give a winner to this free agency, Boston, man. Boston is a fucking getting Malcolm Brogdon, man. You get a 20-point per game score, and you get a guy that can average 7-8 assists a game. They did get Danilo Gallinari. They did get him as well. Boston got better at that point guard position, dude. They got better.
I agree.
Overall.
You know what I also say is a winner?
Who?
Portland.
I like
Getting Jeremy Grant, re-signing Anthony Simmons, and then they just they just got in Gary Payton, another good defender. So I think Portland's had a good offseason as well.
I like what the Hawks did. I like what they did. I like what they got. DeJounte Murray, actually true point guard. Well, I can't say not a true point guard because he did average 11 assists per ball game. But DeJounte Murray, a guy that can play defense. Play defense. He can get to the paint, score. That also gives Trae Young the ability to play without the basketball sometime and move without the basketball, which I think he really could because he can shoot so good. So I think he can actually move without the basketball. I like what the Hawks actually did with DeJounte Murray as well. There's rumors out there John Collins may be on the move at some point.
Yeah. And they just traded Herter before. They got Mo Harkless and Justin Holiday for Kevin Herter earlier on. So they're going to be a couple of added pieces pretty much to the roster. So I don't know what's going to happen with John Collins, honestly. But, yeah, the Hawks did an excellent job, too. And you can add a guy like DeJounte Murray to that backcourt who's a great 3-and-D player. And he could score. He could score for the starting lineup, too, and help alleviate the pressure on Trae Young. So I thought that was an excellent move.
Yeah, it was a great move, man. It was a great move. He said the Nets won 3 first-round picks for Kevin Durant. What the report I read is 4 first-round picks. That's the report I read right here on my boy on Hoop Central. On Hoop Central, okay. It should be.
Or at least 3 and a good young star or 2.
Yep.
It's got to be either one. I agree.
Yep. See, The report of Kevin Durant, at least three first round picks. 1 minute ago, Brian Windhorst says, for what I am told, the Brooklyn Nets telling teams that they want a young player, one young star player, and they looking for 3 first round picks. Yep. But I did hear 4. But like it's 3-4. It's still going to help the team out. 3-4, it doesn't matter.
Absolutely. I mean, I guess those would be their own picks. I don't know if they go to the Rockets at all. I'm not sure if those are going to be the Brooklyn Nets picks, or if they're automatically right to the Rockets. That's the thing that I'm a little bit confused on. If whatever
I think they automatic with the Rockets. I believe.
I think so too. So it wouldn't even matter. It's really going to be they're going to have to acquire at least another. The best thing they could do right now, if they're going to definitely trade Durant, which it looks like they are, they have to get themselves another young star and just hope that maybe you have Ben Simmons get over whatever issues he's going on right now, because he's still a talented player when he's right in his head. He's a great defensive player, and he can score occasionally. He's good with facilitating the ball. And get yourself another good young star to go with Ben Simmons. And at least the Nets, you have 2 good young players you could build around. And then you just piece together the rest of the roster going into the season, and then you just go from there. That's what they need to do. I think getting themselves an established young star for Kevin Durant is the way they have to go if you're going to trade Kevin Durant. You cannot just go in there and get draft picks alone and take your chances. Even if like some of these draft picks they're able to keep and they're not all going to the Rockets, you need to be able to get yourself a guy that has been able to establish himself in the league as a young star player and can get the job done on the offensive side of the ball, because I mean, you need to have some type of product you're going to be putting on the court, because the Nets already have sold a ton of tickets into the next season because fans are expecting Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Ben Simmons to be on the court. Now Nets fans are going to be going into the season overpriced tickets to begin with probably no Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and just Ben Simmons. So they need to get themselves some type of young star. So I agree with you.
Yeah, I believe the Rockets. I believe the Rockets. Those are the Rockets picks now, because the deal James Harden didn't work out in Brooklyn, and plus he got traded, and that's why I think that's part of the reason why the Brooklyn asking for 3 or 4 first round picks. They lost those first round picks because the deal was set for James Harden to go to Brooklyn, and the Rockets got all of the picks out of it. So I believe the Rockets. I believe those picks goes to the Rockets, but now officially with the Rockets. Those picks, because that deal didn't work out with James Harden. The deal didn't work out with James Harden, but not by leaving Brooklyn. The deal didn't work out. So that those picks are, like I say, are to the Houston Rockets. They ain't all protected first round picks too. They all in the top 5, top 10. They all protected first round picks too. That's
it's terrible. It's terrible. I know. It's ridiculous. Like why you would. Why the Nets would even do this, because they should have learned. But then again, it's a new regime. But they should have learned from what happened to them in the past. What can happen when you decide to just trade everything, hoping that you think you can win a championship. But when it goes bad, I mean, there's no turning back. I mean, we all know what happened to the Nets after when that Garnett, Pierce, and Terry trade went bad. I mean, they were a pathetic basketball team for about 2, 3, 4 years. And it wasn't until Sean Marks originally came in and he made the trade for D'Angelo Russell, took a chance on a Karis LeVert, on a Jared Allen, picked up Spencer Dinwiddie, who was pretty much floating around the league, took a chance on a Joe Harris, that the Nets finally put themselves together, a competent basketball team with a bunch of young, good players, and eventually even made the playoffs, albeit they got bounced in the first round. Still, it was a competitive, good, young team. I think figured they would learn from that, but no. Sean Marks decided to do the same thing when they saw Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving want to take their chance. They come to Brooklyn because they liked what they saw in this basketball team. So it's just an absolute shame that the Nets just they couldn't they repeated their history. First time with Prokhorov and now with Joe Tsai. The Nets fan base are the ones that are paying the price for this. They think that we would get a championship at least out of what happened when you have 2 teams that have potential NBA championship persona going on, and then you end up getting nothing but just absolute pain, injuries, issues with the players, disgruntled players going on, and then you have nothing but not even an Eastern Conference Final appearance. So,
Yep,
I mean,
keep
the
up.
Rockets are laughing their way all the way to the moon with this one.
Y'all keep an update on Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell, like I say, also wants out of Utah. Rumored is all around Miami. It's Miami all around, but we're gonna definitely find out what that's gonna be. But again, man, just want to give a shout out to everybody. Shout out to Jeff. I'm about to get ready to get up off here for a little bit, because I got Coach Spotlight at 4:00. So I was just giving a recap. Day one of free agency. If any more news come up, I will be back on here probably tomorrow for another recap. Day 2 of free agency. So Jeff, tell the people where they can find you at.
Well, you can find me over on my channel, MYG Jeffy 3285, where I cover the New York Giants, the Brooklyn Nets, the New York Mets. Chris Bassett just is not pitching tonight. I'm not going to get into that, but he's not pitching tonight. And David Peterson's taking over. And also I cover the WWE Wrestling. You can catch me every Sunday, normally at 6:30 with my buddy Zion Zenith, Adam Costas, and Mac the Giants fan as we give our premium takes on the sports, on everything that's going on with sports in the WWE and AEW during the week. And also you can catch me with the Hardcore Sports Network every single once in a while, covering everything that's going on with sports and going on with general. So thank you very much. Subscribe if you haven't already to Coach Dante. Love what he's doing. All the great content he's throwing out there. Take it easy, everybody. Enjoy your Friday and have a great 4th of July weekend.
Yes, sir. That's my boy, Mr. Jeff. He's a Giants fan, Nets fan. Y'all want to go to definitely check that out, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I do. The Darren Hopkins show will be at 4:00. I am a new co-host on that show as well. I do got some Astros baseball coming up at 7:00 versus the Los Angeles Angels. So again, man, shout out to everybody. I will keep you posted on some new updates on anybody that is moving around in the NBA, man. So shout out to y'all guys. Much love. Thank you guys. As a Coach Dante, Jeff, we up out of here, guys. Have a good Friday.